Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you guys are well. What's going on there? 2 seconds, guys. I can hear myself again. Why can't I hear myself? One second. Still hear myself. What's going on here? What is going on here? I literally can hear myself repeating. I don't know if you can hear that. Um, One second. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on here. What is going on here? All right, I think that's better. I think I've sorted it. I think I have sorted it. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you guys are having a great day, a pleasant day. Um, yeah, I think I've sorted it. Sorry, it ruined my intro, man. It actually ruined my intro. That's annoying. Anyway, yes, I'm back. I hope you guys are having a great Friday evening, day, night, wherever it is that you may be around the world. We are here to discuss that preview between Newcastle and Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea in the back of losing 3 games going into their last game before the World Cup need the win. This is a big game. We're going to be discussing everything in and around that game. How did Chelsea beat Newcastle? How are they going to do that? Obviously, Newcastle are in great form as well. Let's be serious. They are in very good form. But I need you guys to make sure you're smashing the likes as always, subscribing to the channel. We're also going to be reviewing Graham Potter's press conference, which is going live at 1:30 as well. So we will be keeping you up to date on the team news and everything that's going on over there as well. I hope you guys are all having a great day or whatever else. And before we move forward, let's cue the intro. Boom! Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for this Friday afternoon preview for the big game tomorrow against Newcastle. A game that Chelsea have to get 3 points in. A very important 3 points that will need to happen. Like Pelu says here, let's go 3 points tomorrow is vital. She is right. 3 points is vital tomorrow. Chelsea cannot go. The pressure's on Chelsea because they can't go into the World Cup on the back of 4 defeats in a row. We're going to have to switch our form eventually. We're going to have to start, winning games. And obviously, this is the last game before the World Cup. And this will just be perfect for Chelsea to get themselves back into rhythm, back into winning ways, should I say, before coming back at the end of December, where again football will start again on the back of the World Cup. So yeah, it's an important game. It's going to be a lot to get into, lots to discuss, lots in terms of like team lineups. What are they going to do? How are they going to set up? Do we do the back 4? Do we do the back 3? What is the best way of breaking down this Newcastle team? We're going to be talking about that a bit later on the show. We've also got a little bit of stuff to go through. We'll talk about Endrick. We'll talk about Nkunku. We'll talk about Graham Potter's press conference once that's obviously off and away as well. And then we'll talk about the Newcastle Chelsea game, do team lineups, open up the lines, the usual stuff. Nothing changes. The usual stuff as always. People were sending me stuff. It's over more trophies than the other English team. Yeah, well, do you know what? Actually, I'm going to start on that. I want to start with a bit of positivity about this football club because it's been very negative in recent times as well, which we're going to get into. But let's quickly go and say hello to everyone. Big up to Ashwag, big up to Jamie, big up to Fato, my boy. He was in Manchester, stayed in Manchester, is now travelling down to Newcastle for the away game. He says that he spotted the team bus in Newcastle, which was the same bus in Manchester. RD, nice to see you, bro. Henro, nice to see you. Martin, hope you're good as well. Do you think of Mbappe joining Chelsea? No, it's not happening, mate. That is definitely not happening. I'm not confident, not even fussed, to be honest, what President Jafar's saying. Skills, nice to see you. Pelu, I already said hello, but big up to you as well. Nice to see you in the chat. Matty K, what's happening? Nice to see you, bro. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen you, man. Hope you're good. John, nice to see you. Steve, bro, how are you, man? I'm good. I'm actually having a good day today. You know, I've been quite busy. I say quite busy. I haven't been that busy. Quite trying to keep myself busy, been gym and whatever. You know, keep the mind occupied before obviously getting onto the show with you guys. Please smash the likes as always, people. It always helps both GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV in growing, but also subscribe as always. Jim, you're looking forward to watching Turkey at the World Cup. Very funny skills. Very funny. That's a very funny joke because they're not in the World Cup. They actually ain't in the World Cup. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing, isn't it? We have a donation from Malfi Garion17. Sorry if I said that wrong. Thank you for the donation, bro. He says, if we lose, would you question the manager or player? Do you know what it is? And I keep saying it, and I said it on yesterday's show. I think each game merits both of them being blamed. And I think like when you look at the way that Potter set us up against Brighton and maybe incidentally against Arsenal, you could point fingers, the late substitutions, not changing the game. You look at Potter. But at the same time, you still got to look at the crop of players, the players that he's picking to play the games, not being able to do sometimes the basics that are required on the pitch. Understanding the instructions of the manager is something that they've struggled to do in the last couple of games. And all I want now, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this game, I am not looking at the performance. The performance can do one. Literally, the performance can do one. What I would rather like to see at the end of this game is just the 3 points. As long as we get the 3 points, I don't care how we do it. I don't really care. It could hit Thiago Silva or Chalobah in the bum from a corner and go in and we win 1-0. I wouldn't care. All I want is that 3 points, man. Big up to you, Wolf Gearan. Thank you for the donation, bro. As always. And if you guys want to get your super chats in, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Prioritize questions. Do you expect to see Hull in Premier League, or is it going to be like Thomas Tuchel FA Cup appearance? I don't know, mate. See Hull. Oh, sorry, Hull. Why did I say Hull? Hull in the Premier League. I expect Lewis Hall, if we're playing a back three, to start. Yes. But then at the same time, he could be on the bench and Koulibaly and Cucurella could be your three, if that makes sense. So Koulibaly back in his position, Cucurella played as a wing back. I would actually prefer to see Koulibaly play with maybe Lewis Hall or as the wing back or Cucurella as a left centre back. But I still think we need. The thing is, we're playing Wilson, we're playing Almiron, we're playing Saint Maximum. You know, we're playing Bruno Guimaraes. You know, these are decent. They're a decent team with that are understanding the instructions, are in good form, and can give us problems tomorrow. So you want to make sure that you field the best possible team. And I do feel that Cucurella's too up and down in performances. I know Koulibaly switches off, but I just think Koulibaly is potentially more comfortable in that position. However, from what I've seen from Hall as a wing back, I think he's better equipped from what I've seen in helping us create down our wings. Because without Reece James playing Ruben there, whoever we're going to play there, we're not going to have that creativity. So I think it's important that we have creativity. And I think Cucurella can do it, but I've just not seen enough of it at the moment. And I think Lewis Hall, from what we've seen of Man City, would be the perfect answer. So yeah, big up to you. Big up to Deals in the house. JP, bro, what's happening? Lee Bell in the house. Big up to you, my brother. Hope you're good. Nomadic, what's going on? She says 3 points collecting tomorrow. She's confident. I will be opening up the lines later, so hopefully we'll get you in. I am Turkish. But I'm not from Turkey. I'm from Cyprus. So I'm half English and I'm half Turkish. So I'm from like North Cyprus, which is classed as Turkish Cypriot, basically. So yeah, Turkish Cypriot and English. My mum's English. So yeah, bit of both, Pelu, bit of both. I thought you knew that anyway. I'm sure we've had these discussions on Twitter. I'm saying potentially. Matthew, big up to you, bro. Nice to see you. Deals, CFC OG, what's happening? Yes, my man. Ready today. Yeah, man. Good. Get you in. We'll definitely get you in. Liam Lane, big up to you. Man, there's bears of you. There's over 100 people here combined. Yeah, bro. Turkish Cypriot. Big up to Lawrence as well. I've been to Cyprus. It's Paphos. It was so yeah. You got the south side, which is Greek, and the north side, which is Turkish. I'm from the north side. Even though I've been to the south side. The south side's nice. Don't get me wrong, but you can't go wrong with the weather there. If you ever want to go to a country that's really hot, then that's the place. That's the place. Lambs is doing well. She's getting on. She's actually getting on. Spoke to her not long ago, actually. She's, I believe, going to the World Cup, actually. So yeah, big up to her. And Yeah, she's fine, man. She's fine. She's all good. Defenders, Aspie, Silva, Koulibaly, Chalobah. We're going to do that later on. All right, let's get into it, guys. Yeah, let's get into what I have prepared for us today. So let's start with a bit of positivity, because I feel like I said the last couple of shows, I know it's been negative and we've not been playing well. Let's try and have a bit of positive times and talk about some positive stuff. This comment here from Chelsea FC 365 says that since Roman Abramovich took over in 2003, Chelsea have won more trophies, 21, than any other English team. Champions of Europe, world champions, and look how beautiful that is, guys. And it is history, and it's recent history, as you can argue, and we have been successful. 21 trophies. This football club, in my generation, since I've been watching Chelsea since the 90s up to this point, have won every single trophy. Even you guys that are watching and listening now have won every single trophy that is possible. Every single tournament that Chelsea have played in, or cup that's available in football from a club standpoint, has been won by Chelsea Football Club. And let me tell you something now, guys. That is one of the biggest privilege that any fan could get given. Look at Spurs. They're starving just to see one trophy won, let alone all of them. We've seen them all. Arsenal, never seen a European trophy, starving for it. You know, like the only ones that can chat with us are people like Man United. Liverpool ain't even won every single trophy, surprisingly enough. They're not even in the elite brackets of teams that have won everything domestically and European. There's only a certain amount of team. There's only a certain amount of people that are. There's only a certain amount of teams. I think there's 6 or 7 teams that have been able to do that. So yeah, look, a bit of positivity. Why not? Yeah, why not pump a bit of positivity in today's show before the game? You know, that is beautiful, guys. Take that in, and remember that not any rival fan can chat to us when it comes to trophies in the last 20 years. We are top. We sit on the top of the chain. We at the top of the chain. We at the top of the chain. But yeah, I've got a special guest coming on for you guys. Some do like him, some don't, but he's coming on, and I'm sure he's got a lot of things to say. He said he's going to come on for a little bit, so we'll bring him on while I'm doing this as well. Another little bit of great history in regards to Chelsea. 04-05 season, 95 points in the Premier League record of all time. 15 goals conceded in was a Premier League record. 9 goals conceded from open play was a Premier League record. 1 defeat, 25 clean sheets. Also, we were so close to beating that Invincibles. You know that Invincible team? 1 defeat. And I remember it was Man City. I think it was Man City away. I think it was Man City away. Can anyone remember that? Can we think that far back? I think it was Man City. Truly insane. Peak Jose Mourinho. That was a peak season. Premier League smashing Chelsea Football Club. Ballers. Ballers. That's what we are. Ballers. Why would you say that? We're trying to pump positive. Like, what is wrong with you? Why can't you just come in with a bit of positive? I'm trying to pump a bit of positivity before we, before we get into other bits. The last couple of shows have been very negative and upsetting and whatever, and I'm trying to pump people up a little bit, make them a bit happy, you know. And you come in with your stinky. This is how you know we're finished. Allow it. Allow it. Jesus. Stark Christensen. What are you talking about? I'm not even talking about him. Yeah, so did I, Steve. So did I. He was a baller. Now, look, I've got a little bit of info here for you guys. Next year's supposed leaked kits for next season away looks something like this. Chelsea 23-24 away kit info leaked. At the beginning, I thought it was Inter Milan. I honestly did. And it goes on to say that the actual design of the shirt remains unknown, but the colour scheme has been revealed. So the colour scheme for the away kit next year looks like that. Looks like that. It looks all zigzaggy again and like a little bit like the retro kit that we had last year. This year's one's very clean. But last year one was very retro-y with all the triangles and this, that and the other. But looking at that, it looks like Inter Milan. It actually looks like Inter Milan. It looks like Inter Milan. No. Oh, oh, fucking hell, I forgot about that. He's still in our books, isn't he? Oh, Jesus, no. Lewis would get happy. Lewis will be so happy in the chat. Maybe we're preparing an Inter Milan kit for the return of Romelu Lukaku. Maybe that's Bowley's idea. Well, if he's going to come to Chelsea, maybe we can, put a fake imagination in his head that he's playing for Inter Milan, but with a Chelsea badge on it. No. Sell the guy. Rip the contract up. Get him out of my football club. But it does look like Inter Milan, doesn't it? That away kit. That does. I am going to buy that. I'm not going to lie, Lewis. That is quite a. It's quite nice. I do like the black. I missed the. Do you remember the old Adidas kit, the black kit, the Samson kit with the black and white lines in it? That was mega. But they also had the black with the blue squares on the chest as well. If you remember, that was peng. That was ping as well. How much did you rate Soon Sup Bell? I've not seen enough of him, to be honest, Tammy. I'm going to be honest with you. I forgot. I've not really watched enough. I'm sorry, I forgot that we suck and watch 0405 replays. Trying to just make people a little bit like, why do you have to dampen the mood? What is wrong with you? Yeah, that was it. The 11 and 12. That was it. Yeah, the 11 and 12 away kick. Guys, there's over 140 of you here combined. Big up to every single one of you guys that are in. We are going to be going through the Graham Potter press conference as well, which is something that we're going to jump into very, very soon. Once it obviously comes out. So we've got the lineups to do. We've also got a little bit of news that's come out today. One from Simon Phillips, who's commenting on Nkunku again. And this is the comments. Fabrizio Romano's comments say that Christopher Nkunku is happy to join Chelsea. Everything is almost ready. Chelsea will not wait to trigger his 60 million release clause. They have already agreed on a different payment structure with Leipzig to secure the signing ahead of any other club. And let me tell you something now. This is just a wild guess. I think with this deal, because it's a great deal. He's worth, I think, a lot more than that. He's close to 100 mil striker. Easily at the moment. One of the hottest prospects across Europe at the moment. Scoring in every game, doing his thing. I think Chelsea are going to pay a lump sum up for this guy. And paying lump sums always attracts teams. And when you think about the Rafinha deal last year, when we tried to get Rafinha, part of the reason why Leeds didn't want to let go of the deal between Chelsea and them was because Chelsea were given a big lump sum cut up front. So they were giving them 20, 30 mil cash, with another 30 mil then broken up in installments. And I think that's the way that I think Bowley's trying to get deals done quicker, attract players to the football club. The fact is we have the dough to do it. And obviously they're going to use that dough to structure better deals or create better deals for this football club. So at the end of the day, this getting done now or getting done before any other club can sniff out Nkunku, I'm telling you, has probably got to do with the fact that we've put up a lump sum of money towards it. And that always persuades and helps clubs to agree in deals a lot quicker. That's what I think. But we'll wait and see. Maybe I'm wrong in that instance, but we'll see what happens. And Nkunku to Chelsea could be very close. They're not going to wait for the release clause to kick in, which tells me they're going to want to just get it done and get an announcement done soon. However, I don't know how soon they're going to do that. I don't think they'll do it through the World Cup. I think it could be end of December, beginning of January, once we get close to the transfer window again. But yeah, a great player, great signing. Doesn't solve all of our issues. It's definitely a specific profile player we need, but we still need the infrastructure to be sorted, the system, the core, the spine. He's one of the missing pieces in the puzzle, but he's going to need a lot around him still for us to get the best out of him, I think, personally, in my opinion, with the spine of the midfield and other bits and bobs, which you already know. I'm not going to bore you to death about as well. Minerals FC has come through to come and say hello to you guys. We've got 150 of you here already. Minerals, what's happening, man?
Big up. Let's have it right up the Chelsea, up Minerals FC, up you lot. Yeah, big up to every single one of you in here. Hope everyone's good. Do you know what I mean? We're buzzing, yeah? We're buzzing for tomorrow.
100%, mate. I am buzzing. I was trying to bring a little bit of positivity into the chat earlier. I was showing some images of 21 trophies won in our in the last 20 odd years, and that I think we're the highest team in terms of winning trophies than any other English team. Try to bring a bit of positivity, at the beginning, rather than it's been quite a lot of negative thoughts at the moment around our football club, and it's just a bit damning. So yeah, we're looking forward to tomorrow's game. There's a lot of pressure on us tomorrow, Johnny, isn't there? We're going to get into that obviously in a second, but Christopher Nkunku, it looks like it's getting closer and closer and closer. Obviously, the journos or the brown envelopes, like you like to call them, are building up a lot of full steam ahead on this one. What's your thoughts on Nkunku to Chelsea?
Not really bothered, to be honest. Like I say, it's the midfield that needs to be addressed more than anything. It's a great addition, but you're probably talking about Ziyech and Pulisic probably moving on. Do you know what I mean? Aubameyang potentially, and then this guy is going to be that start of the new era under Potter and Bowley and all that. And he's a top little talent, but like I say, Bundesliga tax. I'm not going to get excited about a player coming from that league. There's no disputing that he's got talent and he's a good player. But he will come into this side and we will have the same situation if he does come in January, unless we address the midfield and get the right personnel there, because that's the area for me that needs the most surgery. All the attackers are not shit. It's just that the balance in the team ain't right. So regardless of, you could have fucking Neymar and Mbappe and you're still going to have the similar situations. Doesn't mean that they're shit players. So at the end of the day, fair enough. I'll be more excited about that Endrick player, if I'm being honest.
We're getting into him next, actually. Let's get into him, actually, because that was one of my next things. Obviously, there's a topic brought out again by, it's just spread around, but Tom Roddy's come out saying exclusive that Chelsea's Thiago Silva at host Endrick's family at the training ground in a bid to sign a 16-year-old Brazilian prospect. So Thiago Silva is at the front of this, trying to obviously persuade him from going Real Madrid, from going to PSG, or obviously big clubs. And to be honest, a lot of Brazilian players' dreams is to play for the Real Madrids and the Barcelonas. Let's not lie about it. But it seems like Thiago Silva's really trying to push this one. And I mean, what's your thoughts on this guy as well?
Yeah, big up Thiago Silva. He knows the deal, and I think he can be key in getting this deal over the line. But the kid's young, man. He's got plenty of time to play for Real Madrid and Barcelona. Same old story. I think for a kid like that to go to a club of that stature straight away, obviously Chelsea massive, yeah, but I just feel that it's a good move for him to come to Chelsea. I think it'd be a great move. And hopefully Thiago Silva stays one more year and can bed him in. But like I say, he's very young, but you're buying just raw talent, potential. Yeah. And he's definitely got minerals. I mean, he's had grown men falling on their asses when you watch him, and he's scored wonder goals. He's got pace. He's got a lot of strength for a young kid. Dribbling, fearless. I love him. I think he's fantastic. So yeah, if we can sign him, that's a great statement signing for me, to pip someone with huge potential at our club. And why not? Someone like that, you get that vibe of like a Neymar. Do you know what I mean? He's got a mold of everything in him. A bit of Romero. So is it Romero,
Rivaldo, all them stuff, that sort of players?
Well, yeah, and a bit of Neymar. He's got a mixture, sort of like hybrid of these players.
Is he an out and out prolific goal scorer? We say, or we say he's a bit more technical than that. He's a lot more, because he does play a sort of like a central forward. He can play off the left. He's also played off the right. I've seen a couple of his clips where some of his finishing with his left foot is he's fearless. Like you said, he's just got this like fearless way about him. I think when you're that young, you are. However, maybe the lack of experience and coming into this type of league maybe catches him out at the beginning.
To be honest with you, I think a player like this, they just believe in their raw ability and they don't give a shit. And I want players like that, And he's just a special talent. You can tell he's going to go, Ballon d'Or way. He's just there's something about him that is extremely unique. And we should go all out and get him. And Nkunku, yeah, cool. Like I say, Bundesliga to Premier League, massive difference. It's a massive difference for Endrick as well. But I think with Endrick, you can already see, what is he, 16 or 17? He's a
He's
kid.
16, 17, yeah, something like 16 years old, it says, yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's
He's a baby,
taking the
but is he
piss.
going to come straight into the first lineup, or is he going to go into the reserves and play over there? Like he's playing first team football at Palmeiras at the moment,
Yeah,
and getting in
exactly.
there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is he going to be able to walk into the Chelsea team, which we already know starves the youth academy of opportunities for youth progression? You know,
Why not? Why not? If you're good
well,
enough, you're good enough.
we've not seen
And
Hutchinson, and he's not even getting games, and he looks pretty good as well. You know, so like, are they gonna? Is it one for the future, or what I'm trying to get is it one just for the future, or is it someone that's going to come in and actually like solidify themselves and get their chances and
do
get
you
in the
know
team?
what? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like Ronaldo burst on the scene at Man United or what? 17, 18, I think.
Hmm.
I think when you sign him, if he's 16, 17 to 18, I think by law in the Premier League, you've got to be 18, haven't you? 17?
I don't know.
17, I think. Not 16.
Yeah,
16's too young, man.
too
I
young.
don't
I think
know.
it's 17 or
Did
18.
Rooney
Yeah,
come in at 16?
Rooney
I think
played
he.
when he was 17, turning 18 at
Yeah.
Everton.
So I
Yeah,
think once he turns 17, he's eligible to play in the Premier League. And I think a player like that, you could put him in the team and you just have to manage him correctly, not burn him out and manage his minutes. But with Hutchinson, I don't think he's built like Endrick. Endrick's built like he's proper strong little player.
mm.
Brazilian, you know how it is. They play barefoot on fucking AstroTurf,
And
bruv, and on the
yeah, yeah.
beach. Do you know what I mean? So I think he'll be built for it, and I'm all for it. We've got to sign a player like that. I want something exciting like that at Chelsea. Um, I'm sick of all these big, Real Madrids and Barcelona's pipping all these players, and then you see them just destroy them. They just don't
He
turn
was
into
16.
anything. You know what I
He
mean?
was, yeah. Rooney scored against Arsenal at the age of 16, is what Bobby's saying here. Jesus. So
Yeah.
there
So
you go.
maybe he can play then. Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not 200% sure on that, to be honest, but we'll have to see what happens with that. Guys, there's nearly 200 of you here, 20 minutes in. Big up to every single one of you guys that are here, but make sure you're smashing them likes now. Let's get them likes up. Close to as we can to the 100 likes as quickly as possible. Go and check out Minerals as well on Minerals FC on YouTube when you get a chance. Big up
Yeah,
to
come
DJ
on, on the
Savić as
road
well.
to 5K, bruv. Let's go. Let's
Yeah, get him
go.
to 5K. Get him to 5K, guys. If you haven't subscribed, go and check him out. He's great channel over there as well. If any deal was to happen with Endrick, it will be 2024. He will be 18. That's true, actually. I read into that. That's true. We're not signing him for now. It'll be for when he's the age of 24, apparently. I still don't know what Endrick is about. I love that everyone is excited about him, but I need to find out more. And that's true. I mean, that's fair enough. A lot of people have not seen enough of the guy, etc., and that's
It's
fine.
just
But this
raw.
is
It's raw talent,
this,
raw
but this is what we
potential.
want.
That's
But
all it
this is what
is.
we want from the new board, right, Johnny? We don't want to just continue buying the biggest hotshot name in European football at the moment and just give him a ton of wages and get him in the team. We want to try and find the next big things. That's what we want to try and do, moving forward. But it's
The board's got to. The board's got to land the minerals, yeah, and
mm,
they've got to. For me, I'm not judging them yet. My mind ain't made up. My mind's going to be made up over a sort of 4 year period. Because for me, it's about longevity. It's not about the immediacy and the
mm,
now. Because the board, we still don't know what these owners are going to be like. No one has a clue. We're only told and sold what is the brown envelopes push out. Like that Ben Jacobs come out on I can't remember the geezer's name, the guy on the terrace, whatever it is, yeah.
yeah, I've got that comment here. I was about to literally go to that
Yeah.
next.
So
Trainer.
so
I'm going to go next to this one. So.
he's
It's all
come
about
out
this.
and
That's
said
reported
that.
by Jacobs. Ben, if Graham Potter does not get Chelsea into the top four, Chelsea are unlikely to sack him. That's what he said.
Yeah. But see, this is coming from one side of the brown envelopes, but the other side of brown envelopes is saying, oh, Potter's out of his depth. And King Canner's called him out, that Wilkinson fella. Putting pressure on Potter, and the thing is, this what I've noticed with this board is they listen to the fan base, and that I don't like. I don't like that one bit.
How do you know that?
Well, it's evident with how Tuchel panned out.
No, I don't think so. I disagree with that. I think that was with Tuchel. I think that was more between the board and Tuchel, the communication between the two. From
Yeah,
what I
but
understand.
it's how
I
they.
think that was,
My thing
yeah,
is
they've done it in the wrong way.
they
Don't get,
manipulated it. They
but
manipulated it with the brown envelopes. What I'm saying, If you look at the start, yeah, everyone was backing Tuchel, mate. Everyone. Like, it was unheard of that Tuchel would get sacked. If he did get sacked, I mean, what a bad start by the ownership. And then what happened is the brown envelopes leak out all this Ronaldo nonsense, and it causes a friction straight away. And they didn't like that Tuchel didn't want Ronaldo.
It does, and don't get me wrong, I think that's always happened at Chelsea, though, Johnny. To be honest, even under Roman, there was always that pressure from the fans that when things weren't working in the second years of Conte's or the second years of Mourinho's, the fans turned very quickly on what they were seeing, and the decisions to get rid of managers and sack them halfway through second seasons, at the end of second seasons, is partly to do with the build up from fans, journos, and whatever. So I think that's just something that's a part of the game. If you want my honest opinion,
Roman didn't give a fuck,
but,
mate. He just sacked whenever he wanted. He didn't give a shit.
Did, but he still heard it. You can't. I don't think he sits there and not hears what's going on around the ground. You know what I mean? So
well,
my thing is,
I'll give you an example. Yeah, Sarri, right? They wanted Sarri to stay. The fans wanted him out. So they didn't listen to the fans. They actually wanted Sarri to stay at the end of the season, and then Sarri wanted to leave.
Sarri walked himself, didn't he? Really, in that one, he decided to walk himself, if I remember.
Yeah, but I mean, like like at the end of the day, it was a transfer ban. He was losing Eden Hazard, and then he's got Juventus on the other hand calling him over from his home country. He's going to take that, isn't he? But the point is, the board wanted him to stay, and the fans didn't take the liking to Sarri. So this proves my point that they never really listened to the fans. There was decisions that they made that we don't agree with, man, like sacking Marino and all this nonsense and backing the players over the manager and all this. So my thing is this: Bowley and that have come in. It was too harsh to sack Tuchel straight away. No one can deny it, or no one can tell me. Put it this way, yeah, no one can tell me that the Tuchel agenda, the underlying agendas against Tuchel from all the other platforms and the brown envelopes, the pressure that was building on Tuchel when the geezer's never built his own team, he hasn't even had the chance to be backed. Added weight and more power to Bowley to sack him. And you can't, like, what I'm saying is, if you didn't have all of that in the background and they just went and sacked Tuchel, everyone would be like, what the fuck? But it was already building. There was already a foundation there for there was already a divide on Tuchel. There was a section in the fan base that thought, nah, get him out. Yeah. And then there's a section that was backing him to the end.
That's normal, though, and that's always been the case of us, though, isn't it?
Nah, man. What, with a manager that's just won you 3 cups in fucking 1.5 years? It's just like, come on, man.
There were a lot of people that weren't happy with him anyway. Upon that, my point is, Tuchel getting sacked. The way that Tuchel got sacked was wrong, and it was actually worse the way they did it than originally in the way that they should have done it, which is that in the summer window, when there was a lack of communication, when there was a high demand from Tuchel to do A, B, C, and D, and it wasn't being achieved, they should have made the decision there and then on getting rid of him. If that was their plan, to not continue with him because they didn't feel that he was the long-term manager for this football club, the decision should have been made in the summer by backing him and giving him A, B, and C, and allow him to have a couple of games going into the new season and sacking him was a lot more worse in the way that they dealt with it. It's actually the wrong way in terms of the way that
they should have sacked him straight away, but they didn't. That's what I'm saying.
People wouldn't have liked it. Don't get me wrong. In the summer, everyone would have been like, "What are they doing? What the fuck?" Like when they were getting rid of the ball, left, right, and centre. Check Marina, Bruce Buck. If that, they should have made the decision there and there. If that's what they were going to do, they should have just committed to it then.
Listen. Everyone there, talking about conspiracy and all that. You don't know what I know, fellas, yeah? But I'm telling you this now, all right? Tuchel weren't a yes man, bruv. He got to a point where he said, I'm not being a yes man. And that's why they fell out. They wanted a yes man. We want to get Ronaldo. I don't want Ronaldo. All right, yeah, you're in the bin. Literally. That's a small sample. But Potter, the way I'm looking at it, I think he will be a yes man.
Well, that's yet to be told yet. I'm going to wait. I can see it. I know what you mean in terms of how it, but I think it's again still well too early to call on if he's going to be a yes man or not. He's going to need the thing with being a yes man. He's got a job to do himself. So if his idea is a specific profile of player or system or whatever, and he needs that, and they end up giving him something else, he's not going to. He's going to only end up
Well,
shooting himself in the foot, right? Because he'll
no,
end
but
up probably getting himself sacked because his system and what he's trying to do is not going to work. So my point is, there's a limit to the yes man thing,
this is
because
what
if
I
you're a
think, though.
manager trying to move forward, you're not going to be able to just take players that the ball's telling you to have. It will go back to what happened under the Roman era with the ball just picking Lukaku, for example, and others that we know very well. Kepa's
No,
last
well,
minute
this is what I'm
response.
saying, though.
But
In other words, it's not going to be a case of Potter going, "I want these players." Yeah, he's gonna list out the fundamental attributes and the profiles that he likes, yeah. And then what Bowley and all that lot are gonna do with their team is go and look at the data analytics, and they're gonna tick off all these players. Have they got this? Have they got that? Have they got that? And they'll go and buy like that. They're not gonna buy by naming a player unless it's an absolute one player that Potter definitely wants, and he says, I have to have this player. The chances are that's going to be the process and the model, just almost like Liverpool with Klopp. Klopp didn't want Salah, he didn't want Mane, he wanted what's the geezer, Kai Havertz's mate from Leverkusen, and
yeah,
Goetze. He wanted these sorts of players, and he got who he got, but they still fit the profile of player. Brandt, that's it. Brandt and some other player, like a winger or whatever he wanted. They fit the profile of what Klopp wanted, but they weren't the players that he actually wanted by name. And this is what I'm saying, like, that's the difference between being a yes man and actually being backed as a manager. You think if Mourinho comes in, right? Say Mourinho comes in, do you think he knows exactly what players he wants? Conte, he'll know exactly what players he wants. I want these players, I don't want any other players, yeah? So I just think I don't mean it in like disrespect as a yes man, but I mean, it's got to be a yes man to the model, bruv, is what I'm saying.
well, no, but again, to accept them before taking the job, the model would have been laid out to him before going ahead with the model, right?
Yeah,
He
so
would have
he's a yes man.
so,
He's accepted, whereas
well,
Tuchel
no,
didn't.
but
That's
you
my
can't be
point.
yes man for accepting a model because you got to understand what's required from the model and what to
Yeah, but
expect
he's
going
been
forward. So
paid out 20 million, bruv, to go there. You
yeah,
know?
no, I hear that. That's true. Money does talk, but at the same
Yeah, of
time,
course.
he didn't have to say yes, did he? If the model didn't suit him and he didn't feel that his team were comfortable in going into this, he wouldn't have made the decision. I don't think
No, I
Potter.
disagree. I think irrespective, you take that job. The money's
I don't.
unbelievable. The
But you're
job
talking about
itself.
the hardest job in England. I'm being honest. There's not a club that is harder to manage in football at the moment in England than Chelsea.
Yeah, but either way, Jem, yeah, look at it as an employee perspective, yeah. You go and get a job, you get paid out. Even if you get sacked after a certain period of time, you're getting another payout as well because you're on a 5-year deal. It's a win-win for you, irrespective. I'm not saying Potter wants to fail. Fuck's sake. I'm
Yeah.
saying as a sort of like contingency for Potter, he's laughing, bruv. I know he's not laughing in the sense in football terms that he's failed and that, but at the same time, football is a multi-billion business. It's about money at the end of the day, and that's why everyone's in it. So for me, I'm fully behind Potter, and I'm not just like I'm not
I know
saying
what you're
that.
saying. I know what you're saying. I
You
know
know
what you're
what I'm
saying.
saying, yeah?
Yeah,
Because
I know what you're saying.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
the board is trying to give this impression that the manager's going to get everything he wants and we're backing him. And I don't think it's going that way. Because when I look at other clubs, it's not really like that. I mean, is Pep to an extent probably is one of the managers that gets most of what he wants. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that's why they're successful because his blueprint is elite. Whereas Potter has got the blueprint, he's got the minerals there, but
He
in
hasn't got
order
the
for it,
CV.
he,
That's the
he
problem.
doesn't have the CV.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I watched a thing on Gary Neville, yeah, who I don't really rate to be honest, but we'll bring it up anyway. But he was saying like when he was a manager at Valencia, and he was on the touchline with Simeone, and he said, I'm out of my fucking depth. Like, I can feel it in my chest, yeah? And he goes, Potter's an elite manager. He's definitely more elite than I was. But you can't tell me, like, when you're on the touchline and you see Pep Guardiola, you see Klopp, you see they're animals of managers. They're animals. They've got a presence and an aura. And Potter, like Tuchel had that aura and that presence. You think Tuchel on the touchline when you got Arteta giving it all the big one, you think Tuchel's just going to sit there like Potter? No chance. I know it's like they're different characters, but you're talking about the aura, the presence of a gaffer. Jose Mourinho's presence when he's dealing with the brown envelopes, when he's on the touchline, when he's
there's a
with the
certain way
official.
of being. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
because it transcends down to the squad. It filters down to every player in that squad. And then you get this don't die mentality. And I haven't seen that since Potter's come in with the players. I see the players look low on confidence. I see the players don't know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, but I think
and that's the thing. And he needs time, but
he does. But at the same
that's the way I
time,
look at it, bro.
I do think that the specific crop of players we have don't have that mentality and bottle anyway.
No, that's bollocks. That's bollocks.
No,
we won the Champions League, bruv.
Yeah, we did.
We won the Champions League, Club World Cup, and all that. Listen, while we were going through sanctions and all this shit, we've got mentality in that squad.
Have a spine, mate. Let's not sit here and say we've got a spine of
No, I'm not saying a spine. I'm not saying spine.
So for me, that's my problem. Again, it goes back to the whole big thing of consistency, doesn't it? Because they
but Jem, you're going from we got no spine to no consistency. But what you got to understand is, we have got certain players in our team that do have mentality, but as a majority, as a whole, as a unit, as a team, we don't. So that's why you're.
Please,
that's to do with the spine, yeah. But the spine is still Rome. This team is Roman's crop of players from the last sort of five previous managers. Yeah. So it's a pick and mix right now. Yeah, that's down to Roman not sustaining us being at the top, and we've been dipping. We're just hit and miss. We're 1 minute we're up there, the next minute we go down. Oh, and when we go down, then we're going to reinvest and we're going to go back up. Whereas what Bowley wants to do, I'm sure, is have consistency in success and being at the top. But you can't. You have to. Yeah, it's an issue. That's
the issue, though. That's what I'm saying. The mentality.
Yeah, but you can't.
Is an issue, isn't it?
But you can't say that all our players don't have mentality and we're dead, because
not all of them.
It's not the case.
I'd say majority of our crop of players don't have that, and I'll give you an example of why. Because when we go 1-0 behind in games, they all just completely capitulate on the pitch. They can't. I knew against Man City that once we went 1-0 behind, we weren't getting back in that game. I just knew it, and that's not like. How do I explain?
That's the way we're playing as well, Jim. We're playing.
Yeah, it is to a degree.
No form.
What I'm saying is, you haven't got the player on the pitch that goes, "Give me the fucking ball. We're playing shit, and I'm going to try and make something happen for this team, and we're going to get out of this." That's not. I don't get that from any of them. I'll be honest with you.
But the thing is, this is nothing to do with Potter, though.
It's not Eden Hazard-esque sort of mentality, because I'm talking about Drogba, I'm talking about Lampard, I'm talking about the John Terry attitude.
Yeah, but that's a major spine now. That's a spine in that era that was untouchable. We don't.
But you need that spine in the domestic leagues to be able to be successful.
I agree with that, but how do you build that if you're changing your managers every fucking season? You can't do it. It's not.
Can't do that.
So this is the repercussions of that, changing managers, of changing philosophies, of buying pick and mix players, different profiles that don't sit, or just going for opportunist signings and all this. All the time we did that. But when you look at when we had Terry, Lampard, Drogba and all that, and Czech, we had that core spine, and whoever played amongst that spine, they would have to deliver and perform. They weren't all of that ilk. But we had the spine to build upon. We haven't had that spine. And Tuchel came in. He knew what this squad needed, and the board didn't listen to him. It's as simple as that, because they wanted this player and that player. And Tuchel said, no, for example, I don't want Ronaldo. He's going to ruin my dressing room, the ego. And look what he's doing at Man United. He doesn't give a fuck about United. It's all about Ronaldo. You're bringing in another Lukaku situation, different players, but similar situation. So Tuchel had all these things. The board didn't listen to it. They didn't like it. They got rid of him. They brought in Potter. Potter's nowhere near on Tuchel's level to come in and have the same effect as Tuchel did. When Tuchel came in at Chelsea, he was playing Wolves, and automatically you could see a difference in the way we played. I haven't seen that with Potter yet. I haven't seen that change of play or that energy. I feel like there's a lot of players that still are unhappy that Tuchel wanted to get rid of. They're still in our squad, and as long as they're there, Potter cannot move on with what he wants to do.
Yeah, and
So,
that needs a window, doesn't it? And I agree with all that. 'Cause
yeah,
I
he
do think
does.
it does,
To be
yeah.
fair, the Balder,
Yeah.
it's unfair on Potter, the position that they've put Potter in. He needs a pre-season. He needs to assess all these players. And let's have it right. Potter's got light training in between games, for fuck's sake. He hasn't even got intense training sessions. So at the end of the day, this is it.
Yeah, no,
We are where we are, and
yeah, we are.
unfortunately,
But
we
that's what people
can't.
need to
We've got to
understand,
dig
and
ourselves out of this.
that's what I keep explaining to people about understanding where Chelsea are, rather than being
Yeah,
reactionary
we're not.
per game
Yeah.
and saying sack the manager. You need
Yeah.
to understand the ups and the actual overall breakdown of what this club is, from the hierarchy to the manager to the players and what's going on in and around it. And that's it. And it's a transitional feed. It is. It's a rebuild. It's a structure. It's our rebuild started since 2017. We're just not moved forward, in my opinion.
You know what it
And
is,
do you know
Jem,
what?
yeah?
Did you see that? Did you see that thread that I sent you yesterday?
I haven't read it, to be fair. I need to go through it.
To cut it really short, that thread basically explained the differences from the Man Cities and the Real Madrids and their transitional moments, and how they moved on quicker through the transitional moments than others. And part of the reasons why they did do that a lot better was because they knew that specific profile of players that had been so good for their club were aging, right? And what they did cleverly was that they started spending in the areas on young players to play with them, play with the Cruces, the Modric's, and the Casemiros, like we've seen. And I'll give you an example: not Casemiro, Camavinga, Valverde, right? All of these, they've just bought Tchouaméni, right? They've done that so that when they can move the old
they've
core on,
prepared,
they've got the new core. So the difference in transition for Real Madrid doesn't really get noticed as much because there's a structure in place. They're
Right.
already working on the
Can I say
transition
this then?
behind the post forwards. But Chelsea didn't. And that's
Let me
the
say
problem.
this then.
Chelsea didn't just think about improving
Yeah.
in their areas.
Yeah,
areas
because
where
I
they
said
need to
this
move
on my show the
And
other
that's the
day.
issue.
Marina was reluctant to let go of Batshuayi's, Barclays, Drinkwaters for contracts and for shit, not getting good money. Bowley's come in and got rid of all that, which is the right thing to do because he listened to Tuchel. He listened to Tuchel to certain things, but when it came to spending his money, he didn't listen to Tuchel. And this is the problem. This is why I'm talking about the brown envelopes now, all right, and why I brought up Ben Jacobs and all that. You see, Chelsea, at a bare minimum, even through all the shit we've been through, look at Lampard, no experience. He got us top four with a team full of youth players, losing Eden Hazard, transfer ban. Potter has to get top four. And if the board think that not getting top four and backing the manager is going to help them in the process, it's going to slow us down by maybe 2 years on top of this. I think we're 2 years behind. You're talking 4 years, because with the Champions League, that is how you sign the creme de la creme. You have to get top four. You see, Arsenal taking 4 years, bruv, is because they never got Champions League football. We've been getting Champions League football, therefore we can keep afloat. We can keep closer to Manchester City and Liverpool. Yeah, that season Liverpool somehow got top four. If they didn't get top four that season, they wouldn't have had that season. The season after, where they were toe to toe with City, they would have been even further off. It's so important to get top four, and I think this squad knows how to get top four. They're fully capable of it, but right now you have to take into context the World Cup as well and all the injuries. So we've got a lot more issues at our football club compared to all the others.
And this is why the World Cup coming is probably a kind of a blessing for Chelsea.
It's a saving grace, mate.
Yeah, it is, because of the injuries and whatever else. But let's go back to it, because I want to go through Potter's press conference, which is just finished now as well. Quickly, I've got a donation for Devandra that says this fan base is the biggest enemy of the club. Immature and not ready to accept the reality that Chelsea was a mess in recruitment seasons before Tuchel came. It's a class of Tuchel. It's a class of Tuchel which papered cracks, is what Devandra says. Big up to Devandra for that donation as well. Thank you very much. Guys, there's over 200 of you here. Smash the likes. Let's get these likes up now, please. I know you've not all smashed it. That little thumb that's sitting there, looking you in the face, that's not highlighted. Hit it now, please. We're going to do the Graham Potter press conference review now, just to see what he said if there's anything important that he said in regards to. I'll fly through these statements as well. He was asked about the World Cup break, and he said I wouldn't say looking forward to it. We have to use it for what it is. We have a game tomorrow. Whatever happens then you have to take stock. We have to take stock. We have to take the time to reflect and come back in a stronger way. That goes on to the fact that we may have Reece James back, who's not going to the World Cup, and others like Fofana, who are working on their rehabilitation in Dubai as well, along with him.
What he needs,
Great.
bruv, is to have time with the new directors and the owners while this World Cup's going on.
He's going to Dubai with the players that ain't, or I think it's somewhere across that area. He's going there with the players that ain't going to the internationals, and they're just going to train out there basically whilst the World Cup is on, which is quite good. Graham Potter on ending on a win going to the World Cup break. That's why we'll try. That's what we'll try and do. We know Newcastle will want it to do as well. It will be a tough match, but we'll try our best, is what he says there. He goes on about Eddie Howe, which I'm not going to read out. What else has he said there? He says, Graham Potter says, it's not one person, it's a football club. You need a good organisation, structure, and align the resources that you have. True. And that's what we're trying to work on, what we were talking about earlier on. He then goes on to talk about the performances. He said, we performed well against Salzburg, a good result, suffered the first 20 against Brighton, and that's knocked us back a little. We played Milan in between Wolves. Reece got injured, a key player, so lacked stability and solution. Wesley as well. Then a big blow to, I think that's NG. Who's NG? N'Golo, as I'm assuming, yeah?
Yeah.
Must be. So he's not say he's using it as excuses, but these are valid points in what I feel he's saying. And he goes on to say, I think there is more to come from the team we have, and the group we have. We've had some key players out. Kante, Chilwell, James, Fofana. They are key players, and a couple of them are replacing key ones who left in the summer. Fofana, obviously. Just Fofana mainly. Chilwell, James, and Kante have always been at the club.
Yeah, but do you know what, Jem? Very quickly before you go on, yeah. All right. We know this. Tuchel had this as well, right? And I'm not comparing it to Tuchel, but I'll tell you the difference between Tuchel and Potter in this situation with all these injuries and the way, right? Excuse me. Because I believe in Potter. I want to see Potter's blueprint, and we need time. We need to go through time to get to that, because we're going to be fucking unstoppable. But this is the thing. The simple fact is Tuchel didn't change it. Tuchel had his system. The players knew the system. They knew how to play to benefit this group of players. Potter changes it too much. And because he's changing it too much and he's rotating these players too much, which he has to rotate, but he's rotating to the point where it's 5-6 players in between games. That's where we're falling short. If he can stick to his formation and stick to the way he plays, then I think our results would be better than what they are now. That's my only criticism, really, at the minute.
Yeah. No, I hear that. 100% hear that as well. Let's move on from that as well. Graham Potter, I think we can do better than we have, and this is what the focus is on. Obviously, you mentioned, yeah, that's fine. Graham Potter on Newcastle, obviously, he knows they're having good results and they deserve them. I'm not going to read that. You need a bit of time to reflect if there is, and this is because of the World Cup break. It would be stupid for me not to do that. Come on, what else has he said? So Jorginho trained today, so providing there's no reaction, he should be in the squad. So Jorginho could be back in the team. Graham Potter on speaking with owners during the World Cup break. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will. We have a regular dialogue anyway. Sometimes you need to reflect, think, and analyze. Absolutely. We need to think about what's happened and what we can do to improve. So they're obviously having talks in the background. Obviously, Conor Gallagher got called up to the World Cup, so he's speaking on that as well. And that's it. So other than the usual injuries, people, Jorginho is potentially back into contention and will be back and available for Chelsea over the weekend as well. So that's... it is what it is in that instance. The players that ain't going to the World Cup, real quickly, because I did have this up via Matt Law, actually, one of Johnny's favourites. Shame for players, but Potter will have a good group of first team to work with in Abu Dhabi. So we'll be going to Abu Dhabi with James, Fofana, Kepa, Cucurella, Chalobah, Ruben, Jorginho, and Aubameyang all not going to the World Cup. Could be beneficial to Chelsea for the second half of the season. Sure, I've missed some. So Obviously, he's not included Chilwell because he's not going as well, but he's out for a while. So there's a lot of key players there. I mean, there's a lot of players that are going to have this time to have a break and hopefully come back into the second part, recharged and ready to go, which will only benefit us moving into that. Obviously, the ones that are going to suffer are obviously the ones that are going to the World Cup in many instances. Marc Cucurella misses out on the Spain squad. One of his reasons for pushing for Chelsea move was to make the World Cup in Qatar. You have to say it hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out for Cucurella so far. Not that I think it's just his problem. Like, he has had some poor games, but I think there's just been an issue with the overall team, to be honest, and how we've played as well. So, obviously he's not going. Chelsea have won 7 out of their last 8 games versus Newcastle, including 4 in a row without conceding. It's a little stat for you guys there as well. And Johnny, going into this game, I'll ask you real quickly, what are your thoughts on obviously we know it's an important game. We can't lose this. It could be 4 games in a row that we end up losing if we don't. I think this is an important game for us to win. But obviously Newcastle are in real great form at the moment. I think they've got one of the best forms in the last 5 games in the league at the moment. And obviously very well organised, well drilled. They understand their systems and they've got some good little players that can obviously hurt Chelsea as well. So what is it Chelsea have got to do? Because at the moment we're not playing well. Is it going to be down to the way he sets us up, the back 3, the back 4, the individuals that he picks? Like, what can Chelsea do to go into this game and try and win?
This is very simple. Turn up. Whoever plays, turn up. We know we're not playing in good form at the minute, but you've got to start somewhere. And I'll be real, yeah. A wounded lion is more dangerous than a hungry lion. And I would say this. I actually think we can go there and go and get a win because Newcastle are not the complete team. They're in good form. Don't get me wrong, and they're playing at Newcastle, which is a bit of a bogey ground for us. But you just read out we've won what 6 out of 8 or whatever.
Yeah, we're on a roll of I think won 7 out of 8 games against Newcastle. We haven't conceded in the last 4
at Newcastle. Is that
Well, playing against Newcastle, I think it is playing against Newcastle. At the moment.
So that's not
just
away.
at, no, that's not. I don't think that's not at. Let me check actually. Let me check.
Check the aways because we won there last year away. We won there last year away, but our record as there has been pretty poor.
But our heads, I know. That's why I didn't think it was there. That's why I was like, I think it must be overall. So the last couple of games that we've played them, what's this? Get away. We won 1-0, then we won 3-0, then we won 2-0, then we won. This is all. So sorry. Yeah, no, it's overall. It's not just away because we lost 1-0 to them on Jan 2020 away. So we beat them away 2-0 on November 2020, and then we beat them at Chelsea 2-0 on the 15th of Feb 21. Then we beat them on the 30th of October 21, 3-0 away, and then we played them at home and beat them 1-0. So the last 4 games we haven't lost them or we haven't conceded.
At home we're decent, but it's the away.
Well, no, the last two games away we've won. The last 2 home games we've won.
So I think I'm quite confident. It'll be very Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To go and beat them. Do you know what I mean? It would be that, but I think we'll beat them. I think it's come to a point now where it's like you're going into games just thinking you're going to lose. You go in there thinking you can win, and I know they're playing well, but let's have it right. There's a lot of players, and there's going to be a lot of ups and downs in this weekend. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises this weekend. See, everyone expects Newcastle to beat Chelsea. I think we beat them. I think Arsenal might drop points. I think Liverpool's, United. I think everyone's going to drop points because everyone's thinking of the World Cup. All these players are thinking of the World Cup. You saw the Carabao Cup. You saw Spurs and Arsenal play their B teams and just get taken out because their squad's thin as Michael Jackson's nose, mate. You know what I mean? We're we're right up there, and we can do that. We can land it. I like the way I look at it is, as long as he gets the team, he plays the fit players. I wouldn't play Pulisic. I wouldn't play Ziyech and players like that. I'll play Hall though. I'll tell you that now. I'll play Hall, mate. He's got to play. The amount of intensity and pace that he gives us and the freshness to our squad, yeah. Is it right? Spurs played their full strength team. What a bottle jobs. We know that. Yeah. So my point is this. We have to be optimistic, and I think we can. I don't know how. It's a case of They've got to prove to us on the pitch, and we need to get those 3 points. We need those 3 points. If we lose to Newcastle, it's setting us up for the second part of the season, bruv. In more difficult situation, we know that, but we've lost too many. We've lost 4 recently.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
3.
Fucking hell, bruv.
Well, let's do that. Let's do that anyway. I know he said, can he come in as well? I might send him the link. I know you're not going to be along anyway because we're opening up the lines as well. So
Yeah.
I'll quickly ask you, what is your 11? And then I'll do 11 with someone else after. So
I'm definitely playing.
Back 3 or back 4?
It's a thing, man.
I think it's a back 3, bro. I'll do.
Yeah, you got to play back 3. So I'll go.
Yeah. Mendy, obviously.
Yeah, Mendy, Koulibaly, Silva, Trev.
You think Cucurella is going to be dropped this game then?
Well, actually, no. I'll probably play Cucurella left centre back.
You really? What, over Koulibaly?
Yeah, he was shocking in that game against City. Fucking not jumping for that wall. Shocking.
I know, but he hasn't been exactly. I mean, I suppose so. He's getting used to it, isn't he? He's a bit of a time thing.
And then I'd play. Is Georgie? Jorginho fit?
Yeah, potentially. Saying so. I think Jorginho will come in. To be honest, if he's fit.
Yeah.
Jorginho, and then who are you playing next to him?
Mount.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to put Mount in there.
Not in the 6, Johnny.
Yeah, in the 6. Yeah, go on.
He's not going to do that though. Why would you do that?
I think it needs to be done because I think
Jorginho and Mount is your 2 pivots. Are you mad?
Cover has been shocking, mate. Shocking.
What about Zakaria?
Nah. What against Newcastle?
They played really well with each other last time.
Yeah, but
what presence does Mount give us in that position? And plus, you're limiting Mount's game by playing him there because he's not a 6.
You're not. You're actually getting him more involved. But
he's played there before and he's not played well.
Are we going to play who Potter? Are we playing what I would play or what Potter would play?
I would not play Mount in a 6.
I'd put Hall on the left.
Okay, yeah, I can't click Hall on it because there's not a picture of him.
So Hall goes on the left anyway.
Yeah.
There's nothing of him.
No. All right, cool. And then who's on the right then? Because we've got obviously issues there.
I'd still play Asby. Fuck it, play Asby there.
Not Ruben, no.
Nah, fucking hell, no.
And then who's up front?
I'd play Sterling on the left.
Yeah.
Havertz.
What, up front or the
right?
No,
on the right.
On the right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the formation would be for me Havertz behind. Look, if I was to, but then I would probably put Mount. You could put Mount there, Havertz up top with Sterling, something like that, and then you'd have in the middle. He'd probably play Cover, wouldn't he? You'd have to play Kovacic.
Yeah. Okay.
But you could alternate. You could drop Havertz and put Aubameyang, but Aubameyang for me has pissed me off, bro. That's the only reason I'm not picking him. But probably the gaffer will put Aubameyang, I would assume.
Okay. I mean, it could work. I mean, Havertz has played more in the 10 role as of recent, hasn't he? But then Mount has been more of the 8. So that's in a 4-3-3. So is that 4-3-3? No, 4. What did we do? 4.
So you got a 3-4-1-2.
Mount was in the 8 though when he plays. So yeah,
you'd swap. You'd have, you see Sterling and Mount. You'd have them behind Havertz.
Yeah, and Havertz would be there. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of
but he'd probably play Aubameyang instead of Havertz in that position because I prefer Havertz behind, the striker and.
So do I. Yeah.
But I think he's definitely going to play Mace. He's got to play Mace. He might even play Havertz because he rested them both. So, but he didn't even play Aubameyang either. He rested Sterling as well. So this is the problem, guys. Yeah, I don't know who the fuck this gaffer's picking every week. I don't know who our actual 11 is every week. I don't even know what our formation is every week. And this is the problem. And I think this reflects onto the players, where the
It's always been
players
like
don't
that.
know.
It's always been like that, though, isn't it?
Not really. Tuchel was rigid, set his formation. He knew how we were going to play.
That's a shit 4-2-3-1, but Sterling would be more there, and Mount would be more like there,
Yeah,
and Havertz
yeah.
more there. That makes sense. Yeah.
Are you putting 4 at the back now?
Potentially. I think maybe. I mean, you could do something like that.
What do Newcastle play for?
I think Newcastle. Let's have a look. Newcastle line up. Let's have a look. Newcastle fix. I don't know what they would have played actually. Let's have a quick look. Newcastle. So in their last game against Southampton, their lineup was a 4-3-3.
4-3-3, yeah. See, that's the
Yeah.
formation I want to see us play in the future, man. Do you know what I mean?
But they got it. They got Murphy, Wilson, Almiron, Willock, Bruno, Guimaraes in the middle. They actually haven't got a DM, which is weird. It's very weird. They got Longstaff.
Bruno Guimaraes is a fucking
He's
bit
more of a
of
attacker, isn't
a yeah.
he? Yeah. So they
But he's a
don't actually
workhorse,
have.
isn't he?
Yeah, he gets up and down. But that's the
Yeah, there
thing.
you
For a
go.
4-3-3 with him in the middle, I expect Kovacic and Jorginho between them to be able to win that midfield battle. If it's like this 4-3-3 that I'm looking at the moment. You know, you look at that. I'll show them people quickly now. The way that they've set up there, they actually play with no. They play with no actual out and out DM. They just play with. They've got a good defense, a decent defense, a tall defense. Don't get me wrong, but their midfield, he seems to be in the middle when usually he's always up the pitch, which probably means Longstaff comes. Probably means Longstaff comes in, so he probably comes. I don't know. They must play. It must turn into like a 4-1 when he goes forward. 4-1 something. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but it's working for him. So
It's working,
yeah.
and they know their roles. They've got consistency, bruv. We don't have that, so we've got to somehow. And also, it's a game of taking your chances. Fuck me, man. The amount of the chance we missed against City, you know, changes the game. We've got to take our chances. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't do it. We had a chance against Arsenal. You know, we've Havertz blasting that ball over the fucking no man's land in the stands. We've had some chances there. We've had cutbacks needed. And it's a different game. You go 1-0 up against Arsenal at home. You get the crowd behind you. You know, they then have to question. They've got to come at you more than you expose their space more. But it didn't go like that. And it's all about taking chances. And it's the same old story, bruv. You know what I mean? Same old story.
So what's your score predictions for tomorrow, right?
Probably 2-1 to Chelsea.
2-1 to Chelsea is what Johnny's going for. For me, I'm not even looking at performance right now. I just want us to.
Yeah, I think we might have to shithouse it 2-1 or something.
Yeah,
I think they'll
like 2-1.
score. I think they'll score. But
all right.
you know.
Well, cool. Forward. I've sent you the link, so if you want to come in, I am going to open up the lines and let people come in as well because there's people asking to come in as well, Johnny. So I'm just giving you a heads up.
Yeah, I'm out of here. I'm gone, geese.
All right, bro. Well,
right,
anyway,
nice one.
Make sure you check out Minerals FC on YouTube, and I'll see you in a bit, bro. Yeah, take care.
Cheers, bruv. Up the Chelsea.
Up the Chelsea there. Right, lines are open, and I am going to clear this, and I'm going to do what I think they're going to do real quickly before we call everyone in. So lines are open. I think it's going to be a 3-4-3. I think I don't know why I took Mendy out because he's in goal. Mendy will be in goal. And I think it will be. Let me just quickly do this before I bring everyone in, and I'll bring everyone in and they can get involved. I think Cucurella could play with Silva, Thiago Silva, and Chalobah. I think Jorginho being back, if he is back, will play in this one, 100%. Jorginho. Don't know why I took him. Don't know why I took him out. It's long now. I think Kovacic will play. I think it'll be Jorginho, Kovacic middle for me. I think Lewis Hall will be on the left. I'm going to pull it out there. I think on this position specifically. He likes to play Ruben there, but I'm with Johnny. I think you have to. I mean, in the way that we're playing away, and I think Aspilicueta might have to come in there. My front three would be Sterling, Aubameyang, because I think he's going to play, in my opinion. Aubameyang, and then he's probably going to be Mount. But then what will happen is it will switch that into a 3-5-2. So it's something like that. That's what I think is the idea of what we're going to do. But here's Abs is forward as well that are in here. Big up to you guys. How are you doing?
Bro, I'm good, man. I'm good, but there's a few things with this team right now that's just it's a bit stinky for me. I look on it and think, we need no passengers in this team. None of them, no passengers. So I'm dropping Jennifer and I'm dropping Aspi because I know they're gonna get run circles round. I'm bringing Zach. Yeah, I'm bringing Zach into the team. That's the first thing I'm doing.
You think he's going to play after playing Man City?
Yeah, he can play. He can play, man. He can play. So I'm bringing Zach. And also, I change up a little bit. I go for a 4. I know it didn't work last time, but the reason why it didn't work was because us being the bozos we are, we decided to play Ruben Loftus Bunda cheeks in there instead of.
So what's the formation? What formation do you want?
4-3-3.
Jesus, I don't think we were equipped for that. But yeah, go on. Okay.
So listen, if we do this, it will work. So I'm going for what's his name? Move Mount into midfield. Put Mount in the 8.
Yeah.
I would go. What's his name? What did I do here? Let me think about this.
No.
I'm going Trev right back and Koulibaly centre back.
Really? I mean, I actually want to see this. I've been saying it for a while. I want to see that.
And then I would move. I'd move Raz to the right. Put Raheem right wing. That's the first thing I'm doing. And I don't even care if I'm going to get hate for this. I'd play Pulisic.
Oh, I mean, he weren't too bad against Man City, but that gives you some more directiveness.
There you go. You've got you've got the 6 right there. You've got the physicality, cover to keep shit ticking, amount to do the whole full. That way, for me at least, because I look upon it, we have no passengers. And the worst thing is that if you're really struggling to like control shit, you can always take off one of cover or Mount and bring on Jennifer. But Zach has to play the full game. For me, he has to at least. Because I think we've got potential to find a very good player in there. The only issue is that he's lacking match fitness. So the only way to get his match fitness up is if we play him in it.
He's a one-game wonder, is what Skill says. I don't think it was too bad against I don't think it was too bad against Man City. It was a hard game for him in the second game, but he wasn't. Yeah, he had that. He has that presence, doesn't he? And that's the thing with him, you know. Forward, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, my bro. I'm good.
Yeah, good to hear. Good to hear. What's your thoughts on what's your potential lineup? Is it a 4? Is it a 3? What would you change? What's your thoughts? How do you think how do we beat Newcastle? Obviously, they set up as a 4-3-3 themselves, which I showed earlier. So.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, first of all, Newcastle are a very good team. So, like, even if we were in good form, this would still be a very difficult game. I mean, the form that we're in now, honestly, a point wouldn't be a bad result. I'm not going to say I would take a point, but it wouldn't be a bad result if we came after that. From what I'm expecting, it's going to be a tough game. Now, the team that I would set up, listen, 4-3-3 is the formation I would like Chelsea to play long term, but I just think right now we're not equipped to play it. We're not in the form to play. And we saw even when we reverted to a 3 at the back against Man City, that we looked pretty decent in it. We looked a lot more comfortable because it's this formation that a lot of these players have been playing for a long time. So I will continue the 3 at the back against Newcastle.
Yeah.
And obviously Mendy's going to be in goal. Obviously Thiago Silva's going to come back in. Last game before the World Cup. Now, for me, obviously, big up Johnny, but Johnny had Cucurella at left centre back. Absolutely not. Listen, I'm one of the few fans that was not just very high on Cucurella signing, but also still high on him now, even though he's been in quite bad form. However, I want to see him playing as a wing back, not as a left centre back. And we have to be wary of Newcastle's threats because Almiron is literally one of the most, in fact, he is the most informed right winger in the league right now. He is on smoke. And Cucurella recently has not looked great in 1v1s against Saka, against Adama Traore, against Wolves. So I would absolutely start Koulibaly.
What about Lewis Hall?
And the thing is, that's why I'm going to start Lewis Hall with left wing back. Now, listen again. As much as I do like Cucurella, as I've said,
Okay.
not in great form. And for me, Lewis Hall, you played a hot hand. He had a great game against City. Could have
I
had a
agree.
brace for sure, but I think overall, just brave, fearless. A lot of things that we're just not seeing in this team right now. So I absolutely would start Lewis Hall at left wing back, 100%.
I picked Lewis Hall to come in personally. If we played a three at the back, I think he gave us something that I haven't seen, something we lack from the wing backs, and we usually get from Reece James. And now we've got something like when Ruben plays as a right, we don't get anything. From what I've seen of the left, we don't really get much for anything. What I saw from Lewis Hall was something which actually helps and benefits us and makes us look a lot more threatening down that wing. More comfortable.
You know something very subtle that he does, which is very
Yeah.
it's very subtle, but it's so effective. Is that he'll
understands the
just do a
role
little
forward.
burst. He'll do a little
Yeah.
burst, just like whether it's half year, just to have a winner foul or just to go past the player. And that's something that, let's say, like a Chilwell doesn't do, right? And again, I've been quite harsh on Chilwell in recent months, really. But like he will get on the ball and he'll just stop on the ball and then he'll turn and then he'll play it back. Whereas Lewis Hall in one motion will just get it and he'll just like do a little burst and either beat a man with it or win a foul with it, drive into space, and like just that little motion there is what you need from a wing back, because a lot of time they receive the ball in static positions. You need to be able to break out of the press, break out of the shape that the other team is trying to contain you in, so that you can progress the ball forward. And for me, you got to put Lewis Hall at left wing back. So, bro, just put Ashley Cole there. Find Ashley Cole's icon card, put him there, because that's who Lewis Hall is right now, bro. Like, just put Ashley Cole in there, man. Just put him in there. Obviously the defense is fine as it is. I want Chalobah starting again, right centre back. He's been in good form. Obviously Silva. Koulibaly's not been in great form. Oh, that looks great there. That looks beautiful there.
Hey, listen, I feel for Ashley Cole in this team right now. I'll be real.
Yeah, again, Koulibaly's not been in great form, but I was still just playing just because we need to be a bit more defensively aware against a team like Newcastle. Right wing back, Mount actually looks kind of good there. I can't lie. Like I've been saying for a while, and obviously I'm glad Johnny's not here because you probably throw a hissy fit right now. But Mount in general has not been impressing me. I do think like maybe wing back could be a role that could actually suit him, funnily enough. But for me, I would play Ruben there. Now the option is either, of course, Ruben or Aspie, and obviously Aspie limits us going forward.
He was shocking against Man City.
So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? Again, a lot of fans don't like Ruben on whatever, and fair enough. But the thing is, he's played good at wing back before, and again, there's a tactical reason why I would play him there, which I'm going to get into. But for a start, again, the massive Pulisic chance that he missed in the first half, that came from Ruben actually driving with the ball, body in two man, playing it to Ziyech, then cut it back for Pulisic. Like again, other than Lewis Hall, who showed the ability to drive forward with the ball, Ruben's one of the only players that actually drives and tries to take players on. Not as much as he used to do, granted, but he still does it more than anybody else. And I think there was a stat that came out the other day. I should have actually sent it to you, to you, Jem. But of all the players on our team, when it comes to like take-ons, Chelsea currently rank lowest in the whole league for take-ons attempted. And the highest in our team currently right now is Ruben, who averages 0.9 a game, so just under 1 a game. And everybody else is below that, including Mounts, your Sterlings, your Pulisic's. These guys don't take players on, so at least Ruben gives us that element at wing back.
He don't do it from that position though. I watched him against Man City. He's so, and it's not his fault because he's just not his position, but his understanding of that position specifically and what's required. It doesn't work for me. Like against Man City, he just didn't look like he wanted to be there. To be honest with you,
Ruben's just. Do you know what it is though, Jem? You know what it is? Ruben in general just ain't good enough to play for the club no more. And if we're being real, he was an exciting.
I disagree.
No, he's not good enough. He is a long.
He's a good squad player.
Not even, bro. My standard of squad
players. He's a brilliant squad player. He's a brilliant squad player to have. Listen, not everybody can be. Listen, not every look. A lot of Chelsea fans will want to say, "Oh, listen, let's say those you want to keep Jorginho, right? Let's just say, for example, people would let's say, I want to keep Jorginho. I want to then add Bruno Guimaraes. I want to then add Declan Rice. I want to then add Enzo Fernandez and put them all on 200k plus. That's not how football clubs run, bro. Like you look at Real Madrid, they have guys like Nacho Fernandez, who is a good player. He will start for most players in La Liga, but doesn't start for them. But it's good to have players like that who would do anything for the club and are happy to be on I say minimum wage. These guys are paid handsomely, but for footballers be on relatively handsome rate, like relatively low wages. And again, I say it all the time. Obviously, right now we have a lot of injuries, so Ruben's having to play a lot. But if you look at the fourth choice DM for all of our rivals, Ruben is clear of all of those guys. Again, would you have McTominay in this squad? Absolutely not. At Arsenal, would you have El Neni in this squad? Absolutely not. At Tottenham, would you have Oliver freaking Skip in this squad? Absolutely not. So yes, I would have Ruben above all of those guys. And listen, I understand that you're saying Ruben isn't as direct as he used to be, and I think a lot of that is down to the injury. Of course, I want to see Ruben be a bit more expressive on the pitch, for sure. But to say he's not played well at wing back, I think that's just incorrect. Again, he's had good games at wing back. The Tottenham game at home, but I'm just sort of Jem said that he doesn't suit playing wing back, and don't get me wrong, I've seen him not have great games at wing back before. But he's also had very good games at wing back. Again, this season against Tottenham, I thought he was very good at wing back.
His best performances this season would have been in the middle.
Yeah, they have been. That is true. But I'm saying, but he can play wing back. And again, against Real Madrid and the Bernabeu, he was excellent at wing back. And this is the point I made earlier about tactically why I would play him at wing back, because we need to be able to try and win that midfield battle. And a lot of the times when we've played 3-4-3 this season, our two in the midfield get swamped. Like we saw against Man United in the first half, in the first 30 minutes. We got swamped in that midfield. And what Tuchel did very well at the Bernabeu is he played Ruben as a wing back to start with, but then he would tuck inside and we were able to win that midfield battle, which is why we played so well against Real Madrid. And that's what I would do on the weekend. Again, this is what I would do. I'm not expecting Potter to do this, but I'm just saying this is what I would do.
The one real thing that gets me with it all right? As I agree that he's got the ability to dribble past players and whatever, that's fine, all right? Number one, I don't think he's defensively aware enough to be in that position, and I don't really like him chasing left wing backs and left backs down the wing, and I just don't think he's comfortable in that. Number two, when he finds himself in the positions in the final third, how many times does he always tend to make the wrong decision? And I'm talking about holds on to the ball too long or can't cross the ball, because it's not his position to be able to understand when to whip the balls in from that position. And that when he gets himself in that position, I just feel like he's a bit like he wants to just run with it like he usually does, like he does through midfield. But because you're so limited in that position, you're asked to hold the width, you're asked to go up and down that pitch, you're asked, you know what I mean? Like once he gets the ball in that position, I don't feel like he's the best person to give the ball to off that wing to then utilize it or create for the people that are in the box. That's what I'm getting. I don't think he makes the right decisions.
No, but Jem, do you know what it is though?
Yeah, no, I hear you. His decision making isn't the best. Just to counter that point quickly. Again, I do hear you. Again, it's not great, especially when we're coming off of watching Reece James for most of the year. Again, he was an elite right wing back, so of course it's not great by comparison. I agree. And against top left wingers, because I think Grealish gave him a very tough game yesterday. On Wednesday. I agree. And if they were playing fit and firing St. Maximum, then it would be a different question. But currently, they play either Joe Linton or Jacob Murphy at left wing, who are good players. They're in good form, but they're not obviously St. Maximum, who's a different kind of 1v1 threat. So for me, I think playing Ruben is fine there because it's an upgrade still for me on playing Azpilicueta, who isn't a very good athlete, isn't going to drive with the ball like Ruben can and should do more often for sure. But for me, I would still play Ruben. And then I don't know if you want me to go into the midfield. So with the midfield, listen, Zakaria looked okay against Man City, I'd say. But I'm just not as high on him as everybody else. Okay, listen, we've done the whole he's better than Steven Gerrard thing, which is funny and cool. He had a great debut for sure. But listen, the way Chelsea play, which again, you have to factor this in because this is the way Chelsea play. We're not one of these. We don't play like Man City. We don't play like Liverpool. The way Chelsea plays, we generally like to monopolize a lot of the ball in our own first third to try and build up possession that way. We're quite slow. We play a lot of it's a very control-based football, which again is still the remnants of Tuchel ball. And for that, you saw with Zakaria on Wednesday, he isn't great at progressing the ball from the back. And a lot of times when we had to progress the ball, he could not be involved in that build-up because he's not great under pressure like that. So for me, our midfield pivot, Zakaria, he's not great on the ball like that. When he's got time and space, yes, he can pick up decent passes, but he's not pressure resistant.
I thought he was quite progressive.
Yeah, I disagree completely.
When he had chances to get his head up and play forward, yes, but receiving the ball under pressure, playing through the press, again, this is a game that I watched back many times. He was not somebody that was going to show for the ball and play in those tight areas. That's not his game, and I don't expect him to do that because it isn't his game.
Yeah.
I think it's more his dribbling ability that prevents him to do that. I think he is press resistant, but he doesn't have the ball control that a Kovacic has, and that's why he's not as press resistant. But my bad for interrupting, carry on.
Oh no, I mean it's fair enough, and again, I think you're right in that sense. It's not saying that he hasn't got good passing, but I just don't think his ball control was able to receive the ball under those type positions. So for me, again, long story short, I would then start Jorginho Kovacic, because that is a
Jorginho.
pivot that we haven't seen for
Yeah,
quite a while. They have the most natural chemistry of all of our midfielders. Yeah, Jorginho. So I would start them as the pivot because we've not seen it for quite a while, obviously due to like fitness and team selection and whatnot. But for me, that's what should start, and that's what I do expect to start in midfield.
Okay. Well, no, look, I think Kovacic and Jorginho will start. I'll be honest with you. You know, that was my call in all of this. I know Ab said he doesn't want passengers and he feels Jorginho is a passenger and whatever. But I think ultimately, if Jorginho's fit, he's gonna play, bro. Like it's just one of them things. He's gonna
Jennifer,
play.
bro. His name's Jennifer, not Jorginho. That Jennifer, brother. Listen, just
Jennifer.
get rid of him. Get rid of him, bro. Get rid of that pole dancer.
I mean, listen, J5 is very limited physically, and obviously, if we turn over the ball, if he misses an interception, then of course he's going to be a passenger in that sense. But I think he still offers his team a lot on the ball when he isn't making silly errors. But he still helps us in being able to progress the ball up the field, control possession, and control periods of the game. And I think he is important for that. Again, he isn't my cup of tea as a DM personally, but in this squad currently, I would start him over Zachary in a game like this. Absolutely.
No one hears me. Jorginho is the perfect bench player, perfect person to bring on in the 50th or 60th minute and kill a game off. But we don't have the type of midfielders necessary to be. I've always said this about our midfield, and people don't understand. People still think Conte is like a out and out DM. Like we've never, for a minute now, had our midfielders in their proper positions, and it's finally starting to come home and roost. When you look at it, it's like Jorginho, he shouldn't be in the pivot. He's a box-to-box midfielder that plays sort of the regista role, yeah? So why are we putting him in the pivot knowing his deficiencies are going to get him caught up? Because we don't have any other midfielders to be swapping around. Like, we can't afford to put Jorginho further up or out of the pivot because who's going to play in the pivot? And this is the point I'm trying to say. If we had one proper DM, a Matic, yeah? Lord, I miss Nemanja Matic. Good Lord have mercy. We haven't had a proper DM probably since him. And it's like, it's showing in our midfield. Like, our midfield is so imbalanced. We have no proper creative midfielder in the front. We have no proper DM in the back. And we just have a bunch of box-to-boxes and roaming eights. And we just put them wherever. And then we hope for the best. Our midfield has been the weakest out of all three areas of the pitch this entire season. And it's not going to change.
It's been the weakest out of all three areas of the pitch since flipping 2017, bro. It's just there's no balance.
I hear that. I don't criticize too much. I'm the negative fan, so
I'll be so real. This summer, we need a whole overhaul. Half these brothers, especially in the middle of the park, need to go. I'm talking Jennifer, talking Kante, talking After Cheek, talking that road runner, that golden retriever, Conor Gallagher. They can all cut. All of them can cut.
So go back to forward quickly. Who is your forward line then? Because obviously it's a little bit mixed for everyone. Like who are you playing in that front three?
I mean, our forward line, just like our midfield, hasn't been invested in properly. In fact, with our midfield, we've not actually bought a midfielder since 2017, I believe. Like again, everybody that we signed recently has just been loans or bringing players back like Ruben. Like we've not actually gone and invested, and that's why I was so disappointed that the club didn't go and get too many, because that was the profile of player that we needed, and instead we decided that he wasn't prem ready. I mean, went and got Saul on loan. And yeah, listen, I mean, I can go down that rabbit hole a long time. But again, to answer your question with the attack, first of all, get Aubameyang off my screen. Get him off. Get him off. I don't want to see that guy.
Nah, that's not fair. That's not fair.
I mean, listen, I didn't rate him when he came. I told people he's just a limited poacher. He's lost his pace from his prime. So I was never going to be like that fond of what he's going to bring to this team. I was never that excited for it. And again, this is a team that doesn't create many chances. It doesn't suit strikers that we've had in the past. So I didn't see our fortunes changing for him. And also, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw it, but after the Arsenal game, he's there liking Troops' post about nothing personal and all that. Like, bro. I knew you were a mercenary, but don't show me that you're a mercenary. Like, don't show me that. So, anyways, he's got off my screen. Great. I will start Broyo. Now, honestly, Potter's not going to do this, but I will start Broyo. Because again, we're a team that's going to need to play in transition quite a bit. And I want to have a mobile striker who can put himself about. May not be as clinical a goal scorer, and is still still raw around the edges. Absolutely, I agree on that. For people that say that. But I will still think, I mean, personally, I think he offers a lot more up front than Aubameyang does. And certainly than Kai Havertz does playing as a false nine.
Okay. And
you know, Oh wait, let me finish. Go.
Yeah, and
Who's
then my
your
two,
two?
I would start Sterling on one wing. Again, not in the best form. Looked had decent moments off the bench, you could see, but I think I'd just still start him because I think he's just our most natural goal threat, especially if we're going to start with Roy up front instead of Aubameyang. And then on the left, you can pretty much take your pick. Listen, I wouldn't start Havertz, obviously. That goes without
Absolutely
saying.
not.
Then it's
Absolutely.
between of all our limited attacking players, it's between obviously Pulisic and Mount. And listen, Pulisic
He's
against
gonna start
City.
He's
Obviously, we
gonna
know he's going to
start.
start Mount. He's going to listen. We know Potter's going to start Mount. He's going to start Cucurella. Those are a given. He's probably going to start Aspie as well. Those are all a given, right? But this is just my
If he
11.
starts Jesus Christ.
Listen.
Go
With
ahead.
Pulisic, right? He's not been clinical in recent weeks. He's missed a lot of chances. Craig Burley brought up a really good point in one of his. It's one of the rare points that he brings up that are actually really good that I agree with. But he said that Pulisic is always off balance when he's taking shots or even receiving the ball, and that's why a lot of cameos this season we've seen him like slipping over randomly or just losing composure at good moments, and I don't know why that's the case, but that's just been the case. And in front of goal, he's not been good at all this season. Having said that, though, he caused a lot more threat than I've seen from the likes of Havertz and Mount recently. Now, I don't know if that's because it was a cup game and the game was naturally a bit more open, but at least he brings the element of being able to drive with the ball and create stuff. So I personally wouldn't be mad at him starting. And then obviously then there's Mason Mount who could start left wing, kind of like in a left attacking position. May give us a bit more security off the ball, being able to tuck in with the midfielders a little bit more. Obviously offers good running in behind off the ball as well. So I wouldn't mind either.
Are you better doing a 3-5-2 and just having Mount there and having Brower and Sterling up front like that?
That can work again with Potter. He's always there's always like a bit of fluidity in the way that it changes mid game. So I'm sure that we'll see that like kind of change naturally if this was gonna be the team that started. So yeah, I mean between the two it's hard for me to really say like between who start Mount and Pulisic. I don't know what you guys think, but I just think neither are offering us great things, and then the things that they offer good, which are cool. Then there's still 3 or 4 or 5 things that we can list that they're just not doing great for the team right now. But yeah, someone in the chat did bring up a good point about Amari Hutchinson. I wish he got an opportunity against Man City. Again, it didn't make sense 2-0 down that you didn't bring him on. Like, why not bring him on when Havertz and Mount
we're gonna
thinking
have
out the place
a
for
talk
the
about
time?
Potter very, very soon, but it's too early.
I'm
It's
not
way
going
too
to
early.
actually talk about that Omari situation because he literally missed his international game for this. And I'm not gonna lie, that was bullshit, bro. If you're gonna pull him out, at least give him the whole 90.
Yeah, he didn't. Maybe
Yeah,
that.
that was disrespectful to Amari.
Yeah. It was
100%. I agree.
Jim,
I'm not gonna lie. If
let me be the doomsday herald today.
Tell me about the team and whatever. Go on, let's fly through.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this real quick. Yeah, I don't care who's from the 1 to the 11. Right now, it's fucking peak. It's as simple as that. Excuse my French. It's very simple, ladies and gentlemen that support Chelsea Football Club. This is a must-win game, and when I mean must-win, I'm not exaggerating. Season-defining win here. I will go ahead and I'll say this wild take earlier. Just like I said, we would lose to Arsenal and Man City, and people were getting on my neck. I'm not playing with these players anymore. They can fuck off. Here's the truth. If we lose this game, Chelsea are out of the top 4. Make your peace with it. Make your acceptance. Whatever you need to do. Pray to your gods. Pray to the universe. We lose this game, that's it. Either Newcastle will overtake us or United will. We're losing too many points. Way too many points. My issue with this team, no matter who is starting, is from 2 different aspects. One is Potter, which is, it's not really his fault. And the other aspect is the players are still the fucking same players. Shout out TT. Who doesn't matter if it's Broya or Aubameyang up front? What does it matter if it's Pulisic or Mount on the left? What does it matter? Bro, change the whole midfield. Do the whole midfield. Everyone you have, the whole squad. Swap them all out. Swap them all in. The games I've seen in the last 8 games when everybody was, losing their mind when we were winning. Look at us now. We'll be lucky to get a draw against Newcastle. That's my humble opinion. And if we win, I eat my humble pie. We're still in the top 4 race. Good old Chelsea, the players woke up finally. Yay. But the reality is, when you guys do the team selection just right now, like even recently with Arsenal, everything, I don't care about team selections for like the next 6 games. Like, I need to see consistency from all players. I don't care who starts. Like, on the badge, on Chelsea Football Club's badge, we are taking too many L's. Like, it's unacceptable. That's how I feel. But
I think so. Yeah.
if you want to go a quick roundup just for the front line, like you already have most of the team done, I definitely start Broya. I definitely put Sterling on the right. We know he's starting Mount. There's no point of even discussing it. So Mount's going on the left. And that would be the front three for me.
Well, who plays Mount, Sterling, and who?
Mount, Sterling, and Broya. I would also start Aubameyang. The issue with Aubameyang is, once again, our midfield has no creative service. Our attackers can only dribble, not create. Therefore, Aubameyang doesn't get service. And we already know he's a limited striker. If that was the case, I should have kept Lukaku and kept doing that as well.
Let me ask you this quickly, Caleb. Let me ask you this real quickly, right?
Yeah.
Is it, from what you've seen of this crop of players, right, is it a lack of understanding from the system, which is why we don't create enough and the system's just not being able to be formed to the highest standards? Or is it the individualism of the players that are in the system?
Yes, Jim. Yes, Jim. Beautiful question. All right, let me try to make this as succinct as possible. Starting with the manager. A lot of you used to complain about the dead possession we had under Tuchel. Now we've been dominated in the last 5-6 games in a row. How does it feel? How does it feel when you look at Arsenal, United, possibly Newcastle, having 60% possession over big Chelsea Football Club, yeah? So half of it is the manager, because it's exactly how Potter used to play with Brighton. Brighton never had the lion's share of the possession. They never had control of the game through possession. They had control of the game by obviously blowing the other team out the water, by scoring, being clinical on their counters, or using the transition by having his wing backs play as natural wingers. So that's half Potter. It is clear that the system is far more difficult to understand for some of these players than Tuchel's system is. That's a fact. Secondly, and this is to excuse Potter, this is to excuse Tuchel, this is to excuse Sarri, this is to excuse Lampard. It's the same fucking players. Jesus, Lord of Nazareth. The same Mount that's missed 2 wide open goals in 2 FA Cups in a row. The same Kepa who will have a purple patch and then you know he's going to have a terrible, terrible form. The same Mendy who can't play out from the back. I can go on about every player, Jennifer, whoever you want, bro. Gallagher, I can literally rank on anyone in this team. The only 2 people, fuck that, 3. The only 3 that are excused in my eyes in this team, proper players, yeah, Reece James, Thiago Silva, Conte if he's healthy. That's it. That's the only world-class players I see on their day. Everyone else is dead to me right now. Genuinely dead to me. Like, Mount, you got to prove shit. Havertz, I want you shit next season.
It sounds like a funeral right now.
It is a funeral. No, because it's like
facts. It's all facts.
I told Lewis and I told Lewis, I told Prime, I told too many people. I said, listen, I'm not playing around with the fan base anymore. I'm not gonna coddle anyone's feelings. In the last 27 years, we've had 2 seasons where we dipped out of top 6 form. Guess what, guys? This might be the 3rd. And I'm only saying might because the players are still quality enough. They should be getting top 4. I have people sitting here discussing with me, oh, if Potter doesn't get top 4, he's not going to get sacked. That's fine, but there should not be an option saying we're not getting top 4. This is what I'm saying. Like, it shouldn't be an option. It should be like, okay, Potter, you don't get sacked, but you're going to get top 4. Like, why are we even talking about this? But the reality is, and everyone knows it, Chelsea fans know it. That's why everyone's not arguing with the people that used to say this before. Remember, if you said this before, you were negative. You were a Tuchel fanboy. You're mad because Tuchel got sacked. No, motherfucker, I've been watching Chelsea for near 30 years. And guess what? We are shit. This is the most shit we've been since, fuck me. We weren't even shit in Mourinho's 2nd season because the players were just trying to sack Mourinho. We weren't even shit in Conte's 2nd season because the players were trying to sack Conte. This is the worst I've seen Chelsea Football Club in my life.
Yes,
Roman era. I'm 29 years old.
Jim, no word of a lie. Not even that I watched them, but no word of a lie. The Dennis Rice team's better than this one.
It was better to watch, I tell you that.
Bro, this shit is on the scale of AVB right now. We're on AVB Scolari levels right now. That's how fucked we are. Like, I don't think people deeper. We're sitting here not saying we're going to comfortably beat Newcastle. I don't care how good Newcastle are right now. They're not good enough where you stack our team next to their team. You put Eddie Howe versus Graham Potter. Why is this a discussion? But it is. That's how fucking sad it is.
Because these
let me get you. I'm gonna tell y'all early. 2-1 Newcastle. Whoever wants to talk, go ahead, bro. I'm not even wasting my time.
Can I just add a bit of context to what you're saying? Because I completely agree with everything you said, bro. It's complete facts. And listen, we may still find a way to shithouse top four, because for me, I've been saying all season long, Tottenham are a shit football side. They've got match winners in Kane and Son when he's on form, and a pretty decent manager, but he's tactically very limited. And he's being exposed right now. Liverpool have been a mess, but if they put it on together, they could easily finish above us. And obviously, United are in the first season of Ten Hag, so there's a chance we could shithouse top four. But let's be real, guys. The football hasn't been good for near enough 12 months. November 23rd, 2021 was when we played Juventus and we blew them off the park 4-0. In that period of time where I think we were even top of the league or like close to it, we were playing pretty good football. I'll give the boys credit then. But since then, we have not played good football since. So, yes, there may be these false dawns. There may be these times where people think, oh, you know what, maybe players are turning the corner, this, that, the other. No. These players have shown themselves time and time again. They're not good enough for Chelsea Football Club. They're not good enough to take us to where we should be, which is challenging for league titles. Yes, if you bring in a world-class manager like Tuchel, he might be able to piece something together and get you a Champions League run, which is great, and it was good. But that papered over the cracks of what this team has been since 2017, which has been in dire need of a rebuild. A dire need of a rebuild from the foundations up to take us again to being a sustainable league challenging team. And until we do that, we're not going to be able to do that.
I see you in the club. Jam gave me some background noise. I feel you, Jeff. Let me shed a tear real quick, bro. Play my violin.
But listen, this is what we need to be as fans. We need to just accept that this team just isn't good enough and hold the same expectations for these teams and the same like we need to just hold these guys to better standards at the end of the day. That's what we need to do and accept that when we're seeing shit, we call it out as shit. It's not being negative. It's just being real.
The thing is that everyone wants to come around to that now. I'm not having that. You see, and of course, be logical. Like, you have every right to change your opinions. You know, new evidence presents itself. You've got to change your opinions on facts. However, I sat here and kindly articulated to people. Yeah, bump that music, Jim. Bump that music. I kindly articulated to people how shit we were. I was called racist names. I was called a fake Chelsea fan. I was told you need to come to more games, even though I paid $3,000 to $4,000 per game, unlike the rest of you. But here we are. We've been dominated by Arsenal and United at home, dominated at Brighton away. Hell, we're probably getting dominated by Newcastle tomorrow. So you know what? Look, let me put it. Not tomorrow. Excuse me. On the weekend. Let me just say it like this, man. I'm going to land this one more time, since now people can't argue with me because they understand what it is. We're not finished as far as like as an institution, but it's fucking peak. Right now, we don't even look good enough to maintain top 6 form. And people aren't going to like what I'm about to say, but I pray, and I hate when I have to do this for a team, but it's for the betterment of the future. I pray Chelsea Football Club finish outside the top 6. I pray it. Because what will happen is, one, half the entitled, spoiled fan base we have, they're going to flip their shit, and they need that. They need some humbling. The other half of it is this. Those players can't hide anymore. Todd B spent $300 million. He's going to sack some of these players because he's going to realize he's losing a money and investment. He can't keep sacking managers. Who are you going to get after Graham Potter? Oh, Lord, I would love to know.
Hansi Flick. After the World Cup, Hansi Flick drops
You think Hansi Flick's coming to this shit show?
Bro, listen, if Hansi Flick came to this football club, it'd be beautiful. He'd get rid of all the shit players like Jennifer, like Gallagher, like Pulisic, like Callum Hudson.
Brother, do you know how many times I've heard this? Do you know how many managers? No.
We said the same for Tuchel.
We said the same thing for fuck Tuchel. We said the same for Sarri. We said the same for Conte. We said the same for Lampard. We said the same for Tuchel. I've seen 4 managers in the last decade.
Cali, you know the difference is though. You know the difference is. You know the difference.
Hey, Jim, you might want to be wary of copyright.
Oh yeah, Jim, copyright.
Can't be, can't be,
Cut that.
you can't be with songs anyway. It's fine. It's only visual songs. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay, fair enough.
I want to go to Nomadic because I haven't got long left anyway. Nomadic, what you saying? Nomadic, are you there?
Your audio is
hear
not
me?
coming out. Try coming in.
There we go. Yeah, I
Oh,
can hear you
yeah.
now. What
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Put whatever you got in
Let
the
me
background.
leave and come back in.
All right.
Yeah, try that. You're probably lagging.
Jem, by the way, I made a list of all the guys that I'd keep and get rid of in it. So what's it called? And it's actually quite funny how many guys for me now. I think in total I left about 7 players that I'd keep in total, or maybe just a bit more.
It's peak, man.
Crazy.
It's peak.
It's
Hassan,
crazy.
what you saying then? Go on, mate. What's your thoughts on that?
Same old. I'm just numb to it all. The preview, I'm not going to lie to you, Newcastle are looking stronger every year. I think based on their current side, they definitely are a top 8 team. But with how we're playing and how everyone else is playing, they might sneak into the top 6 or maybe even the top 4. With them lot playing 1 game a week and their midfield with I can't even pronounce his name, Gomares and the other players. I think besides what we're saying maximum. Yeah, should I let you go through this list or?
No, go on,
should
do
I
it.
just keep
Going.
Nah, brother, they're gonna eat us alive in that midfield. Oh Lord.
Hey, Abs, close your DMs. I'm joking. Anyway, back to my point. Besides say maximum, I can't remember if they got any other injuries. So I wouldn't be surprised if we lose tomorrow.
Yeah, Maximin's back, by the way. He was on the bench for the last game, so he could even start, but probably.
No, I don't think he's much fit. They're not going to risk him till after the World Cup. I don't think.
No, he came on and got 20 minutes in the last game, so he's fit. But I think just because they're in form and their attack's been gelling well, he'll probably just be used off the bench again.
Yeah, he's likely going to be in the last 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if they win. But it's just annoying. I'm just going to echo what you guys have said. I'm not even going to be surprised if they lose and because they're that bad. And the last game, them lot not clapping the fans, I just find that kind of weird. You get paid 6 figures a week.
God.
Yeah,
that's a separate conversation.
You get paid 6 figures a week. You played crap, and you're crying about how bad you played yourself. I just find that kind of funny. And poor old last week, man, he's going to be scapegoated, but it is what it is. He had to do what he had to do as a captain, which is pull the players back in for the club. But yeah, that was probably the most annoying thing about that during that day. And yeah, the quicker these players go, the better. And pray that we stay in the top 6 or top 4.
It seems like we just it's so every time we talk about Chelsea, it just seems so negative at the moment, doesn't it? There's nothing really much positive to talk about. Nomadic,
you know
what
it
saying?
is, Jem? We're done defending them.
Can you hear me now?
That's what it is. When you're done defending these type of players, look at the brutal and honest truth.
Depressing today. Someone might forget that it's a Friday. Jesus.
Yeah, it is a Friday. People need to know that. But go on, what do you want to say? Let them know.
I've been listening to you all in the background, and I agree with like majority of what you all have said, but I don't know why it feels like with all the negatives that are going on, we're still blaming it on Potter, because even if you're to bring your Nagelsmann or whoever, we all keep going back to the same issue. It's the players. It's always been these players are not good enough for the level that we want them to be at this club. They're not bad players, they're not just good enough for us. So why did we think that we were going to have this massive boost and jump the process that we are supposed to do? We had to tear a lot of things down. I'm not saying that Potter hasn't made some mistakes. Definitely he has. Some of those selections have been whack. But what did you expect? These players, when Tuchel was telling us, what did you want me to do? It's the same players. We were backing him. But why are we all now forgetting that it's still the same players that Potter is having?
I don't think anybody here is saying that it's Potter's fault. Again, like you said, Potter's made mistakes for sure, but again, we've been saying it's the same players, and that's why for fans like me, obviously from what I heard from Cali, him as well, we're not depressed at this point. We've just reached a point of apathy where we understand this team is shit. We've been calling it out for time, and now fans who've been so hopeful and optimistic are now seeing that because we've been on a run of bad form, a run of bad games, draws and losses. Now they're seeing it, and now they're shocked and they're depressed because they've just realized now Chelsea's shit. Whereas we've seen for a while Chelsea have been looking like shit and are going to end up in a shit place. And yeah, it was great winning the
Which is very
Champions and all
true.
these little things
Real
were
quick,
good, but
real quick.
it was just papering over the cracks as we've been saying for a long time. So
Exactly.
apathy.
How is it?
I reach apathy.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. How is it? Like I
No, go
just
ahead.
realized something a few days ago. How is it that Manchester United have replaced Matic before we've even replaced Matic?
With a
Like-
better
like-
CDM, a world class.
Like literally.
Embarrassing.
How has we sold Matic to Manchester United for 40 M's or something? How have they used him? They sold him to Roma and they've replaced him before we've replaced him.
No matter.
And we wasted 2 summers buying loan players, injury-prone loan players from teams that weren't even starting Saul and Zakaria. And we wasted 2 summers on those guys. We could have gotten Tchouaméni or Bruno Guimaraes. Ridiculous.
Time me really quick for exactly 2 minutes because Nomadic and Forrest said something that must be echoed to the general fan base. And this is what I'm going to say. When I want everyone as an individual fan to think, what is the worst season you've ever witnessed from Chelsea Football Club?
AVB.
And I'm telling AVB for most of us, it's AVB or Scolari in this era. Before this era, that's a separate conversation. You would say somewhere in the 80s and the 90s.
No,
Mourinho doesn't count. The players were tanking tools. All those players were world class.
17, 18.
And you know how that's proven? You know how that's proven? Because after Mourinho left, what happened? And that's all I have to say.
No.
But
It's also proven because JT said watch next year, and literally look what happened next year.
Yeah.
On that interview, he literally said watch next year. You'll see us back.
But you know what's so funny, Jim? You know what else we're missing? You know what? To be fair, you know how everyone talks about the Chelsea GOAT? JT might just well be the GOAT, you know, because since he's gone, we've been dusted. We've actually been so dusted.
Because he's a leader.
I don't think it's JT. What you said. I just think that we haven't had a fit Kante. Kante's been carrying that midfield.
Listen, no, but hold on, man. Then hold on. No, because I'm not gonna accept this. I will not accept this.
You're not gonna accept what?
We need to depend on Kante midfield. There was a time when, and Jem might remember this, Michael Ballack in his first season got injured. He got injured badly, and we still won the league comfy.
No, but abs. Okay. You made a mistake. Wait. I'm gonna save him before he even continues, brother. We had Juan Mata and Matic with 15 GNA. That's just Mata and Matic. That's not talking about our main ones. Not the Obi Mikkels, not the Fabregases, not the Ballacks, not all those players you're mentioning. You're mentioning a different breed, a different era, brother, where our squad depth was almost world class. So it's like that's 2 different Chelseas, my brother. That's the Chelsea that put up 90-something.
Sorry, Kelly, can you continue the point that you were making before about bad season? You said you wanted to echo on a point that me and
I'll finish. My bad. I want to let everybody chime in. But just I got you, Jim. To round it off, it's very simple. This is why I said I asked what was the worst season you have ever seen, because my point articulating that is that this fan base has been spoiled for the wrong and the right reasons. It's good to watch your team consistently dominate the trophy landscape for the last 2 decades. But guess what, guys? We've been brought back to mortal. I mean, we're mortal now. Like, it's back to mortality. We no longer have an owner who can get us out of the problems we create for ourselves. When the board used to fuck up all the time, Roman would bail us out. That's a fact. It's just a pure fact. Now we have to be strategic. We have an owner who doesn't necessarily know the game that well. We're still missing a director of football. We have a coach who could be world class, but if you compared him to Tuchel on present day, he can't lace his boots. And then we have a squad of players who are absolutely pathetic. Mentality is so bad they probably would cuck their wives. Excuse my French once again. It's that peak right now. It's that peak, bro. Like, I don't think, like, I'm putting the cam on. It's that peak, people. Like, I don't think you really understand. Like, I'm trying to tell people because, like, this stuff affects your mental health. That's the point of my point. Guys, it's going to get worse. This shit's not getting better, okay? Like, it's getting worse first to get better. We're going to see even worse spells like that. Hey, how you doing? We're going to see even worse spells. Miami, Florida, bro. Fucking hell. Sin City 3.0. But, yeah.
Right, big up, man. Big up.
Yeah, my bad. I had to get some shit out of my car, but you know the deal.
Now I'm going to jump in.
Look at that, bro. Kali's showing off with the weather.
Yeah, Kali before he goes for fun, you know. Do you know what I mean? You're out of order, mate. You're out of order. Anyway, let's go to the score predictions.
Brother, showing off would be doing shit like this. Be like, hey, look at my whip.
That's not Mustang, yeah? Like it, bro.
Hey, stop
dropped out
showing off my
Mustang,
car, bro. Joking.
Kali's rolling, bro. Kali's a little baller, bro. Trust me. Anyway,
I'm not a ball. I'm poor, bro.
Abs, score prediction.
Me? You know what, right? After all that negativity, I think I need to spread some fake delusional positivity. We're going to win 2-0. We're going to get a clean sheet. We're going up to the Grand. We're going to make up for lost time because remember, Mourinho never used to win at St. James's Park. We're going to keep collecting these wins over there and we're going to swipe them.
Fez, forward.
The only way Chelsea win is if we score from a corner or a Jorginho penalty and we shithouse a 1-0. That being said, I have to be real and honest like I was before the Arsenal game and the Man City game. I think we're going to lose. I'm going to say 2-0 Newcastle.
Jesus. All right, I'll move on from that one quick. Kali, what are you saying?
You don't want to know what I think. Let me be kind. 2-1 Newcastle. I'll keep it simple.
2-1 Newcastle.
Wait, sorry, just quickly as well, just to point that Kali made earlier, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, guys. So it will get better. Like we've seen it with Arsenal in their banter era, Liverpool when they had the likes of Jay Spearing and whatnot, and they spent 30 million on Andy Carroll and 25 and threw it down in like. We're not maybe gonna get that bad, but it will get worse before it gets better, guys. That's all I'm gonna say.
One thing I will say real quick with that, it shouldn't have got to this point. And you read that thread. You read that thread yesterday forward that I sent you. Yeah. What was one of the key things that they said that the bigger teams like Real Madrid, Man City's done in their own transition that some people didn't even notice?
Our squad planning has been
their future plan, man. Future planning, bro.
So the reason we find ourselves in the positions we do is on our own downfall. It's all our own doing. Like we shouldn't have. We should have pre-planned this. We should have been ready for this. We should have. But when we knew that the transition was coming, yeah, and it came in 2017 onwards, yeah, there should have been a plan in place for the next gen, the next
just
big
like
thing.
Liverpool,
Similar. The next John Terry, next Jobber. They didn't think of that well enough. They didn't pre-plan well enough.
Just even one thing to add as well. Even the next Courtois, like so. Listen, we future planned great with Courtois to check. Like that was a great transition. But bearing in mind that we let this guy spend 2 or 3 years on loan in Atletico, right? Built his own family there, so of course he wants to go back naturally. When he sprung it up on us, that shouldn't have been a surprise. We should have been ready, but instead, no, we were caught with our pants down. We panicked, and then we took the advice from Pepe Reina of all people to go and get Kepa, who has been a bum, let's be real. 72 million, 185k a week, terrible signing. So again, on many fronts, Matic, Hazard, even the likes of Rudiger, again, that wasn't thought out how we moved on from him. So many cases where we've just not planned properly for the future.
Hey, it doesn't matter, guys. We won it all. We won it all. We won it all.
Kali, we're gonna drag it to 2 hours here.
One thing, when you look at what Real Madrid did, and they still got Kroos and Modric, but they knew that they were coming to that transition, and they started to replace that midfield: Casemiro, Modric, and Kroos. They bring in,
and then they cash in with Casemiro. Like we could have cashed in with Jorginho for the Euros.
That Real Madrid midfield replacement. That Real Madrid.
No, but what I'm saying is they thought ahead. There was a plan in place to not allow the transition to do what happened to Arsenal and what happened to Man United, which is where they didn't pre-plan and they found themselves for many years struggling at
in the mud
to work themselves back up in the mud. That's not what I want from our football club. We're on the brink. I'm telling you now of doing that. If we don't sort it out, I don't think we're going to go down that route. I think Bowley and Potter, hopefully, fingers crossed, they've got a philosophy, they've got a system, they've got an infrastructure. Time needs to be given, and I'm praying that we do start getting the right profile players and we do strengthen the depth and we do find that spine again. We find that spine again in the next couple of years, we'll be fine. But we need to do it now. There's no waiting another year. That's it.
My thing is with also when we're recruiting, my thing is apart from us looking at your footballing abilities, I'd also like us to start recruiting with also looking at your mentality. The thing that hurt me most with losing Rudiger wasn't the fact that we were losing a 60-70 million pound asset. It was also the mentality that we were losing. You know, that Rudiger was a warrior for us. He would literally see someone, a teammate, being abused and it's in the forward line. He would literally run from the defense to come defend that person. I was giving an example of I was watching back. I don't know why I was doing this to myself. I was watching back the Manchester United game, and I was seeing this butcher guy, this vegan butcher, Martinez and Anthony wrapping up J5. And some Chelsea players were just around J5 and they weren't doing anything. Like, it just feels like the players themselves don't love each other. Like, why are you not fighting for this? Like, why are you not fighting for your teammate? And that's what I think we also missed with Rudiger, you know?
Yeah, that's man.
As it's on you, because we're going to end up getting into another topic, and I'm trying to get away from that. What's your score predictions?
You already got mine.
There's no way we're getting off with a clean sheet there. It's Almiron and someone. I'm thinking 2-2.
Almiron, Saint Maximum.
But wait, sorry, but how do we score 2 goals? I just want to know that. How do we score 2 goals? Other than set pieces, I'm sorry, I don't see 2 goals. Sorry.
Forward. It's going to be one day.
Danban trips Sterling for a J5 penalty. Thiago Silva does a header or something, you know.
real quick, and this isn't to beat Potter, and because it's obviously a 2-hour stream. What Jem said, what Nomad said. You guys ever notice that you used to complain, Tuchel doesn't know how to use these attackers. With a better attacking manager, we're gonna get a better attacking play. We have better attacking play with a better attacking manager. I'm not blaming Potter. I'm blaming the players. I need people to wake up. The players are shit. That is all.
Hassan, what are you saying?
Listen, prediction-wise, I want to say 2-1 Chelsea, but I got feelings it could be 2-1 Newcastle because they're at home. I know he was going to be surprised. But anyway, I'm just going to say 2-1 Chelsea for the optimism.
Right. I'm going to be optimistic. 3-0 Chelsea. We're going to win tomorrow. We're going to win.
Flip my boy Jem now.
It's going to be a Sterling. It's going to be a Havertz. It's going to be a Thiago Silva fucking rocket.
Havertz too?
And we're going to have 15, 16 shots, right? And about 8 of them are going to be on target. We're going to dominate possession by 60% to their 40. I've told you how it's happening tomorrow, guys. We need a bounce back.
Can you imagine if that happens?
If that happens,
that's going to happen. Then you're going to wake up in a cold sweat.
3 losses in a row. Eventually, it's going to turn. We are Chelsea Football Club, and they need to bounce back. The players owe us one. The manager owes us one. Just before the World Cup, this is the game that they have to go and win.
Jem's not wrong in that aspect.
And do it. 3-0 Chelsea. Let's do this, mate. 3-1 Chelsea.
Listen, those players owe us a reaction like that.
Cut the stream on the optimism before it gets
negative. We're going to end up
again.
conceding a set piece goal. I'm telling you.
Well, I thought
It's getting negative.
and it ended up being Man City 2-0. So I've got the score right. I'm just hoping it isn't the other way around. So 2-0 Chelsea.
No.
We move. And take care of yourself, guys. We'll be back on Sunday for the match reaction. Enjoy the rest of your day and weekend.
I miss you, Timo.
Stay positive.
Let's go.
Manchester Timo.